Do you need me to tell you more what I'll talk about? Maybe everybody told you.
Okay, just if you want, it's a pleasure. Yeah, it's very helpful.
I asked so would the moderator, you as the moderator probably would show the video. I'm just not sure how to turn it on to show on the screen to others.
Beatrice will do.
We already tested the video. Everything is okay. I can share the video.
Do you need me to tell you more what I'll talk about? Maybe everybody told you.
Okay, just if you want, it's a pleasure. Yeah, it's very helpful.
It's funny that I asked you as the moderator probably would show the video. I'm just not sure how to turn it on. My voice, somehow my voice was recorded.
That's items, because items is in testing the live streaming. So
okay, perfect. Okay.
Okay, so just in a few words, yes, it will be about how we created a network of community cultural centers called bread houses in different cities, and now it's in different countries around the world. And also I'll talk about the model of also a community bakery, which can be a community art center. So it's a mix of community art and community baking. And just as the notion of how we regenerate communities through the arts. That will be my main thing, is the arts, and baking is a type of art form.
Yeah. And as you said, it's an international network. So the Bread House Network is an international network.
Yes, we started in Bulgaria, but now we have minimum 200 people in 5 continents. So it's a big network. We've trained all these people and they do their own things. They have spaces, some they don't have spaces. Sometimes they just lead therapy, art therapy. A lot of art therapists that use it as a new form of art therapy. We call it bread therapy. And that's why there's this website, Bread Therapy. I'll just conclude by saying that we do online trainings. That's how we spread it now with COVID. We used to have people come to Bulgaria, but now we just do it online. So we have a lot of, we call them crumb-ambassadors. So crumbs of bread around the world as ambassadors of peace.
About the city presentation, what we will stress on my presentation will be the 3 different approaches. So while Porto will focus on the connections between participation and urban planning, you will focus on networking, so private and public, how can deal together to get some much better objectives and goals. And then Natalie about Nantes Metropole, the policy making. So if you can stress the things about the networking, and all the experience about your network, it will be great. So the 3 dimensions will be explored.
Good. Yes, I will.
Perfect. And okay.
It's good that you joined us just a few minutes before, Nadezhda, because Yuri with the Siena municipality is organizing a big event, festival, URBiNAT Festival. And of course, your experience and even what you're bringing as cultural interculturality and bringing people together from different nations is very useful. It's good that you meet together today about this.
Yeah, and we have in Siena 2 or 3 associations dealing with agriculture, urban agriculture, and even bread making. So it will be great to establish these connections and so to export even in Italy. I don't know, do you have in Italy a bread house?
Not a physical bread house, but we have the whole training, bread therapy, in Italian. On the website, you'll see that we have it.
So we can be the first Italian city.
Yes, you will, exactly.
Okay, that's it.
Matera, they tried as a capital of culture, but the association that was supposed to do it didn't turn out to be very serious. So they didn't really create a space. I mean, they didn't create a bread house.
Okay, we have 2. I mean, there is Bernardo, it's a person living in Siena, and he's a bread maker.
Oh,
So
nice.
Is dealing with, he has a mulino,
Molino,
a
yes,
mill.
mill.
Mill. He has a mill, so it can be the right person to
Connect us. I can do the whole training in Italian. I mean, the whole training online is in Italian. So we have all the materials. I speak Italian, so I can help him with the Italian, whatever.
Okay, perfect. It's great.
So yes, great. Connect us, definitely.
Yeah, and we had the seminar in Siena. We are making these seminars on urban agriculture and bread as drivers for social and urban development. So we spoke with Bernard.
Italy is such a pioneer on food as a connection to social development, so you have to.
Yeah. We are always eating, so.
Yes, that's what I mean, because you have to.
Ecco anche Chiara. Ciao Chiara.
Buongiorno, aspettate che qua. Eccoci.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Paola, buongiorno.
Ciao.
Good afternoon.
Buongiorno. Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Chiara, you didn't send the bio, so I found it on the web.
Kayak website.
Yeah, I just read that. Is okay?
Sorry, yes, it's perfect.
Oh, no problem. It's just, I will say, Chiara is an Italian architect and urban planner. She obtained her PhD in urban planning at UAB and a master at IAC. Her research focuses on environmental planning and design. Is currently head of European project at the Advanced Architecture Group of IAC. Okay?
Magnifico.
Perfect.
Great that now Nadezhda knows you better also. How do you know Nadezhda? Nadezhda is from Sofia, from the Bread House Network. I think you did not have a chance to meet her when we were in Sofia.
No, because I was giving birth to the baby.
Great.
You weren't at the Bread House. You were not at the Bread House. We went there, but you were.
You'll come, hopefully, after COVID passes. Come.
Yeah, let's hope.
Yeah, everybody hopes.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody. It's sorry to interrupt, but it's 2:00, and this is going out as a live stream on various channels. So I think maybe we should, the people who are hosting the webinar should perhaps introduce it formally now for all the.
But we miss Jose Luis. The first.
We are missing Jose Luis. Okay, then. Well, maybe we can.
We have to wait for him.
We can pause for Jose Luis. It's just to say that we are now formally live streaming, so we can wait for him to arrive. But
we can live stream the kitchen as well. No worries. And right. We will also wait for the participants. Ina, you just joined us. Welcome, Ina.
Hi, Ina.
He's
Hello.
Here. Hi, Ina. Hi, Jose.
Hello.
Yeah, from a sister project from URBiNAT, from EDICITNet, and she will be a discussant today. So we have many partners and sister projects, and that's very nice event this way. Ina, we have here Yuri, who will be the moderator. Chiara from IAC, URBiNAT partner. We have Jose Luis, who is member of our scientific commission at URBiNAT, is based in Spain. We have Nadezhda. Nadezhda is from the Bread House Network. It's a local stakeholder of URBiNAT in Sofia, a partner in implementing social and solidarity solutions there. Oh, and you already know Beatriz, Ina, right? I think so. And you have items, we cannot see their faces, but there are Tom and Antonia who will be doing the live stream. It's the items is a partner in charge of communication and dissemination in the project.
Hello. Hello, Tom. Good. I think everybody's here now. No? Now that Jose Luis has arrived.
Yeah. Not yet Andres. Andres is Pognard. I think you will come in a few minutes. But my suggestion is to wait more minutes to the participants arrive, because normally in the last meeting, we will start 10 minutes later, because normally people arrive to 10, to past 10, or 10 minutes, I think, not problem for us. So,
Beatriz, I'm going to share the slide of welcoming.
Okay, good.
So, okay, this way we have some instructions for people who just joined the meeting. You are all very focused on reading the slide. It's good to see.
We are all.
I just wanted to say, I wrote to Beatrice, I hope I can stay for the discussion at the end, but I'm not sure if my husband will keep the 3 kids safe until then. So if he returns with the 3 kids, I'll just have to turn off because they are very small. They're 3, 5 and a baby. So everybody will be screaming. So I hope he'll be able, but if not,
I know that situation.
I might not be able to stay for a discussion, but he's a tough man. I hope he'll survive.
No problem, Desda. If some questions, we can send you the questions after, and you can maybe provide the answers for the
yes, of course,
through mail. So no problem. You can organize and coordinate this.
Thank you. I am the only anthropologist, right? Everybody else is architect, urban planner.
No. Sociologist here and social worker.
Ah, great. Yay.
And we share also ethnographer. I love ethnography. So we're not alone.
I'm not alone person who cannot deal a lot with numbers and structures. So
also Beatriz is sociologist.
Yes, me too.
I'm neither an architect or a planner, so I'm just something between culture, law, and so on. So it's, but I'm not an architect as well.
Ah, yes. Oh, what is the department you teach in, Yuri?
I work in the city, in the municipality for culture, sport, and funding.
Ah, you're not at the university. Sorry, I got confused. I thought University of Siena.
No, I am the municipality and in department for culture, sport, and funding. Yeah.
That's great because you're really into practice. You really get the public policy in your hands. No, it's great. Much better than academia, believe me. Yeah. I escaped academia.
It depends.
Yeah.
I'm a mix. I'm also came to the academia very. Not so much ago, but I'm activist academy. I'm in between 2 worlds. I kind of a bridge.
Yes. No, that's true. I also teach, but I needed hands-on work. That's why I created the
action.
NGO, the
you
network.
Need action.
Yeah, yes, action research, as we call it in anthropology.
Here, yes, I work with that, with participatory action research too.
Ah, yay, great.
Yeah.
Great.
It's nice. It's nice to know. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you. Yes. In what area, in what city do you work?
I work in Cáceres, in Extremadura, close to Portugal.
Extremadura, yes.
Originally from Madrid, but then I lived in different places. And in South Africa, I worked for 4 years. So I had a lot of ethnography there. I worked a lot there and a project of a community project. So I deal with participatory action processes there and with ethnography a lot.
Great. in Cape Town, we tried to create a bread house, but I mean, physically, it was expensive to have a space, but I trained a few people. So now they're doing some events, nice. In Cape Town, in the poor, in the Kailiza area, the ghetto, the biggest ghetto area in Cape Town.
Yeah, suppose. I work in KwaZulu-Natal, which is in the north. It's close to Mozambique and Swaziland and that area, and yes. Work with the Zulu people. It's also a very, very interesting area. Very, I'm missing them a lot too.
I know, me too.
Yeah.
That Gonçalo just joined us. Gonçalo, you managed to connect. Great. We cannot hear you, Gonçalo. Your sound
Hola, José. ¿Cómo estás?
Hello, Gonçalo. Hola.
Ciao.
Gracias por venir.
Gracias a vosotros por organizar este seminario, además.
No, es todo es Beatriz, ¿no?
Beatriz. And Natalie, and you, and Fabio.
Hello, Yuri. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
If ever think, Gonçalo, if ever think it's okay, is my responsibility. If it's not, I think it's not. I know. It's me, Gonçalo, and Natalie. So sorry, no, it's a work team, and the SAS team, of course, is work on that. And it's the first time that you organize a webinar, and it's good. It's the first time, but I will pretend to organize the others.
Gonçalo,
how are you? Chiara.
Very well. Thanks a lot. Very happy to be here.
Great.
Gonçalo, do you know Nadezhda?
Sorry?
No.
Do you know Nadezhda? Nadezhda from Bread House Network. She's a founder of Bread House Network.
I don't think we met, did we?
We haven't, no.
I don't think.
Very good to meet you. As I was saying, I was giving birth to the baby and 3 little kids, so I couldn't come.
Okay, and the baby?
Yes, the third baby.
He or a she?
It's a he. I have 2 girls and a boy.
Ah, great. Big family.
The oldest is 5, so they're all babies, really.
So you can give them a lot of bread.
Yes. We have bread therapy at home all the time to ease emotions, and yes, that's my therapy.
Yeah.
Good to meet you.
It's a great idea. The bread houses, we are always talking about it. It's great.
Yes. Now when we cannot be very high touch, unfortunately, with this virus, we have to switch much of our work online. So as you hear, we train a lot of people online. But then they try locally, with small groups. In different countries, it's different regulations. So sometimes you can have bigger groups. You can have open spaces. Great. Yeah, the virus will not stop us, we hope.
No, I hope not. Hello, Hina. Thank you for always being available.
Well, today I'm only available in the beginning, and then I can join by iPhone, but then I have to pick up my kids also in the kindergarten, and then that's a bit complicated to discuss a lot, but I am happy to join.
Yes, I will have to leave also in the meeting.
That's only the beginning of the discussion. We will have it's a connection to discuss more after.
Yes.
Okay, it's maybe 2:10. Maybe we wait 5 more minutes to welcome more participants, or what do you think, Beatriz, Tom?
Yes, Natalie, I think we need to wait for Andres, for Ana. So my suggestion is to wait more 1, 2, or 3 minutes, and I'm in contact with the Andres to check if something happens.
Are we online even on Facebook or not?
YouTube.
YouTube, okay.
In YouTube.
If you send the link here, we can share on our Facebook profiles, so it would be...
Yes, I think, Tom, you can share the link to the YouTube for us in the chat Zoom. Tom, can you do that?
So we can spread the voice.
I will send a message for.
Okay, yeah. Okay, perfect.
Gonçalo shared the link in the chat of the Zoom.
It's my job is to share.
Okay, it's a great job.
No, maybe some words, Beatriz, about. I'm not sure if you are going to introduce the first session that was very interesting to follow. Did you plan that?
Yes.
Great.
She will make a short overview of what happened during the first session. If you wish, when she will do that, maybe Gonçalo, you can give your impressions also, as you did last time. At the end, you mentioned a little bit about the connections, namely the questions that we discussed. So when Beatriz will introduce more the part of the event, she will mention, and you combine together.
So, as I've just sent a link to the live stream in the chat.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I shared on my profile and the
Yeah, then I think, if possible, I think it would be good to start as, you know, because otherwise it's just, you know, doesn't correspond with the times that were announced. And anybody who does choose to follow might be a bit surprised to see that the thing hasn't started yet.
That's true. Yeah.
So I don't know, I would urge you to start if possible.
Okay, Tom, we're just waiting for one of the presenters who is a member of EcoSol, our partner in the event, so we can also welcome the participants. We have some people who are entering also the session, and sometimes they experience some technical issues to connect. Like I'm trying to admit all of them, and I see that it's not working so well. So just 1 minute. Beatriz, did you manage to reach Andres?
Yeah, I contacted him, but he not answered me yet. So
we take the decision to start.
Maybe.
And you will introduce EcoSol, right?
Exactly. You can start if he join us. Meanwhile, he can welcome after. I think it's not a problem.
Okay.
So you can start.
Okay. So good afternoon to all. I am Nathalie Nunes, researcher at the Center for Social Studies of the University. Okay, you just received the message that the session is being recorded, so I will say again, good afternoon to all. So I am Nathalie Nunes, a researcher at the Center for Social Studies of the University of Coimbra. I am a member of the co-coordination team of the URBiNAT project, together with my colleagues Beatriz Caetana, Isabel Ferreira, Gonçalo Canto Muniz, who is the principal investigator of the project, and also my colleague Fabio Sampaio, who is our research manager. We all are very pleased to welcome you, so thank you to join URBiNAT today. Our first session was last Wednesday, and the third and last one will be next Monday. So please note that the event is being recorded to register the presentations. However, the open discussions will not be kept recorded or even recorded, maybe just live stream, since we want to have a space of informal exchange, of inspiration and co-creation with all of you. So just a few words about URBiNAT. URBiNAT is a project funded by the European Union. It tackles urban regeneration in 7 European countries. European cities, in fact, as I will show you in a minute in the map of our community of practice, together with the members of our international consortium. One of the pillars of the project is the social and solidarity economy that we invite you today to know better and to discuss. We will start our session of today with a short introduction about URBiNAT. Then also as an introduction, Beatriz Caetana will present first how social and solidarity economy is constituting one of the pillars of URBiNAT's proposal in the context of urban regeneration. And second, she will give you an overview of our event, namely by introducing the presenters and moderator of today, who kindly accepted our invitation. Beatriz, is Andres with us already? No? No, maybe not. So our partner in this event is EcoSol. EcoSol is the research group of the Center for Social Studies, focusing on the issue of social and solidarity economy. And when our colleague Andres joined the event, we can have a few words from the group. So going a little bit more about URBiNAT. So as mentioned, URBiNAT is a project funded by the European Union. So it tackles urban regeneration in 7 European cities: Porto in Portugal, Siena in Italy, Sofia in Bulgaria, Nantes in France, Nova Gorica in Slovenia, Brussels in Belgium, and Odžetastrup in Denmark. But through its community of practice, which includes observers as well, it also resonates in Iran, Brazil, China, Oman, and Japan. URBiNAT's proposal is to co-create healthy corridors in the public space, connecting social neighborhoods or disadvantaged residential areas based on the co-creation of nature-based solutions with citizens. URBiNAT's communities of partners consist of an international consortium of 28 partners from 15 countries, gathering cities, experts, practitioners, companies, research centers, and universities. As such, URBiNAT brings together different perspectives, expertise, experiences in the academic, technical, and political field. As an EU-funded project, it responds to the requirements of a call for proposals on the demonstration of innovative nature-based solutions in cities, with some conceptual and methodological common basis to all the projects funded in this call. First, nature-based solutions, that is by innovating with nature to achieve more sustainable and resilient societies, benefiting from the biodiversity to support the delivery of a range of ecosystem services. Second, based on a co-process, which is systemic and iterative, but also transdisciplinary and community-based, by means of co-creation, including diagnostic, design, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation, as well as management. And third, the cities, who are follower and frontrunner cities, both including European and non-European cities as observers, and focusing on specific intervention areas, which will enable replication and upscaling, but also requires long-term commitment from cities, both political and financial. URBiNAT is coordinated by the Center for Social Studies of the University of Coimbra. It is a 5-year project which started in 2018. The actions developed in the frame of URBiNAT focus on the public space to co-create with citizens new urban social and nature-based relations within and between different neighborhoods. I'm admitting at the same time new participants. So URBiNAT healthy corridors take the full physical, mental, and social well-being of citizens as its main goal. It aims to co-plan LC corridor in each city as an innovative and flexible nature-based solution, which itself integrates a large number of micro nature-based solutions emerging from community-based design processes. The fourth stage of URBiNAT's co-creation process includes co-diagnostic, co-design, co-implementation, and co-monitoring. The frontrunner cities of URBiNAT are now developing their project of LC corridor, entering the co-implementation stage. And the follower cities, they enter the co-diagnostic stage, but have been networking, sharing knowledge, experience, and interest in the beginning within our community of practice. So entering now nature-based solutions. As an initial definition, nature-based solutions are solutions that seek to respond to social, economic, and environmental challenges through sustainable alternatives. It relates to actions inspired, supported, and produced from nature, strengthening existing solutions or exploring new solutions models. The solutions, they address gray, green, and blue infrastructures, but also social structures, relations, and dynamics. URBiNAT's catalog of nature-based solutions as an initial input and inspiration for co-creation challenges the conventional definitions of nature-based solutions by not only integrating solutions inspired by nature, such as territorial and technological ones, comprising projects and infrastructures, but also including participatory solutions, as well as social and solidarity economy solutions, comprising processes and services. It reinforces the dialogue between the physical structure and the social dimension of the public space. This happens through the dimensions of participation and social and solidarity economy. So Beatriz Caetano will now develop a little bit more about this aspect that our event is focusing today. Beatriz, I stop sharing and you share?
Yes, I will share my screen. 1 minute just to move for the presentation. And now, share. Can you share my screen? It's okay. Yeah. So can you share my, can you see my screen? Sorry. It's okay. Okay, I will put in presentation mode. So good afternoon, welcome to all. My name is Beatriz. My colleague Natalia read mentioned some roles that in the project, but also I'm a member of URBiNAT project SES team in the URBiNAT project and a member of Ecosol group. Now, first, I would like to thank you for all that you participate in this online seminar series. Also to thank you for the speakers who kindly accepted our invitation. Thank you for the Ecosol group for the partnership, for the moderators and to discuss, and the members of URBiNAT Scientific Commission, International Network, local associations. Thank you for all and for participation and to stay with us in this seminar series. I'd like to introduce some questions about some talks about the relation between solidarity economy and urban regeneration process. Start with a central question for us. How does the solidarity economy contribute to the urban regeneration of neighborhoods? So in our perspective, the contribution can happen based on the different opportunities to build a different urban space and to analyze its complexity, to review the multidimensional and the intersectional causes behind inequalities and the fragmentation in the cities, to enhance the impact of NBS on network-based solution, and to adopt an active and reflective stance on issues such as exclusion and on the role of political and private social actors. So solidarity economy, from a holistic conceptual viewpoint of the network-based solution concept, social and solidarity economy expands some of its key dimensions, contributing to an inclusive urban regeneration. In our perspective, or our suggesting 4 aspects. First, from economy perspective, considering its substantial influence on the segregation of the territories, the solidarity economy question the naturalization of certain inequalities and put some lens on access, equity to the resource, the commons goods. Through the associated work, all subjects can address their needs of subsistence upon finding in solidarity economy appropriate solution to their conditions of life. From network perspective, or from network side, there is an interdependent relationship between solidarity economy and network, either for a fair and more conscious production and consumption perspective, or in the proximity between rural and urban contexts that advocates a sustainable environment and new solutions. From social relations, or think in terms of social relations in the territory, the democratic management fosters a political capacity of the community, new ways of sociability and urbanities, creating a differential community social space made by citizens. And from urban space, the solidarity economy expands the functionality of public space, diversifying the way citizens use them, and solidarity economy reveals a strong territoriality and connection to physical space and physical material elements in the urban space. It may range from individual self-provisioning and informal small-scale economic circuits localized and operating within a limited territorial scope to networking on a larger area. For this reason, what we pretend as a suggested solidarity economy and EBS practices and based partners expertise, URBiNAT seeks to promote in cities within the health corridor some solidarity economy practice already exist, but within the URBiNAT, our proposal is to combine the expertise from the partners and the experience from the municipalities. So the first NBS or solidarity economy NBS that we pretend or we promote in the cities is the solidarity markets for children, promoting some opportunities from solidarity marketing for children are promoting new ways of consuming goods and services based on reciprocity, solidarity, and justice, change individual and collective behaviors based on their consumption criteria already experienced since childhood, and raising children's awareness about limits and scarcity of natural resource, urban inclusion, and consumption as a collective act. The other one is the solidarity markets and fairs, that's promoting consumption through the combination of shared management and collective consumption practice, foster new ways of sociability and urbanities, expand building a space for debate and political articulation to face community social problems. Also, community social currencies. Today we have communication specific about solidarity markets and community social currencies. but the social community social currency is the opportunity the social currencies expand access to goods and services and to the bonds of mutual trust, and it alters the local economy with the population's it's with the population participation and allows to keep wealth into neighborhoods. The other one is the local currency. Sorry, I can move 1 minute. I think something is wrong in my PPT. Just to come back to the other slides. One more here. The local currency for network is here. Our partner responsible for this NBS is José Luis, but doing us local transaction thanks to a local currency that boosts proper waste separation practice, to the opportunity to improve the transition towards network-based local ecosystems through the implication of local administration and stakeholders in a systemic way, and the currencies can be used as discounting commerce retailers or for paying municipal taxes. Time banks is a solution. Something wrong again. 1 minute. Oh, one problem. Oh, again. Time bank. Sorry for that. Time bank. The promotion is based on the promotion of intergenerational relations based on reciprocal and solidarity attitude. The community becomes the reference for help in face of social changes and when there are no close family members. And also bread house network, also the partners responsible, the partners that shared with us these methodologies here, Nadezhda. So, and she will talk better about bread house after, but the bread house is the opportunity, the inclusivity of clubs methods and build a bread house events allow involvement of people with different backgrounds and abilities. Bread is a symbol of peace and unity, and the bread making foster cooperation, collective experience across cultures, professions, and ages. And finally, to finish this general presentation about network-based solution based on solidarity economic practice, that are the farmers markets network, that builds local social networks, brings together farmers and consumers, shortens supply chains, and farmers markets network allows sharing and keeping knowledge, practice, and values. So nevertheless, it's important to strengthen the political and social project of the solidarity economy, considering there are still some contemporary challenges to the solidarity economy. Also, the dispute for space with new concepts often works as new guise of traditional capitalist logics. The urgence for recognition, since many spontaneous, democratic, and emancipatory practice not institutionalized are not recognized, such as in the Portuguese case is an example, and you discuss about the Portuguese case during the first meeting, and increased visibility of its components from solidarity economy, in which it is impossible to identify circular and collaborative practice as principles of solidarity economy since its emergence. For us, it's important to maintain the focus on these challenges, and special to focus in the social and political project of the solidarity economy. So on seminar overview, we will have three, you will organize 3 days of the seminar. In the first day that occur on Monday, you discuss some aspects related to the common goods, relate to the public goods and the relation of discussion around the common goods and public goods with the solidarity economy. And today we will pretend to discuss the social economy practice for neighborhoods revitalization, namely with the presentation from our colleagues, from some members of scientific commission, and from partners in the URBiNAT project. But our intention is to discuss the solidarity market, social currency, in the public space, discuss the experience, the solidarity economy cases from the health corridor in each 3 cities, in Porto, in Sofia, and Nantes, and also to discuss the city's food waste and solidarity economy, the case of Portugal in particular, with our colleague from Ecosol Group, and also to discuss the Comida, advanced community gardens and short agri-food circuits, and experience from Spain. We will present it by our partner IAC. Also, we have today a sister project, EdCitNet, through the participation of Dr. Ina, and she will provide some comments and some relation with the different NBS, different solidarity economy NBS or practice, and some relation with the EdCitNet project experience. So again, thank you for all speakers and all partners in this meeting today. To finalize this first, this first part, we'd like to share a sentence from Paulo Freire. I shared this sentence in the first meeting, but I would like to share again for the new participants. The major educator of the 20th century, Paulo Freire, committed with excluded people and inequalities. Our wish is that the sentence could inspire our discussion and reflexive dimensions during this online seminar about knowledge does not extend from what is taught to be known to those who think they not to know. Knowledge is constituted in man-world relations, transforming relation, and is perfecting the critical problematization of these relations. I would like to give the floor to Yuri, from Yuri Bruni from Siena Municipality, who will moderate this first round table. But I think after Yuri start, I would like to invite some members of Ecosol. I think is here Andres and Luciane, if you'd like to say something and to welcome of the participants before, please I would like to give the floor maybe to Andres. Would you like to say some words and to present Ecosol Group?
Okay. Hi, Beatriz. Well, first of all, I would like to apologize because I was confused. I thought that the seminar was due to start at 2 p.m. Portuguese time, not Central European time. So I got online a few minutes late, and I'm sorry if I need something. My name is Andres Spognardi. I'm a researcher at the Center for Social Studies, which is part of the University of Coimbra in Portugal. And I'm a member of the Ecosol SEJ, which is a study group specifically focused on the social and solidarity economy. Ecosol has been established, if I'm not wrong, 13 years ago, and it's a tiny but very active research group. I think we have in total 8 or 9 permanent researchers, but we have a long tradition of partnerships and collaborations with scholars and networks and research groups from other countries. And we also have a long tradition of collaborations with social and solidarity economy actors. I mean, people who is actually in the field working for a socially and environmentally sustainable transformation of society. And it is in this dual role, I mean, of research group and of nexus between the academic world and a wide variety of social and solidarity economy initiatives. It is in this dual role that ECOSOL has been working in partnership with the members of the URBiNAT project. The underpinnings of the partnership are quite evident. I think, as you may all know, URBiNAT is a European funded project coordinated by the Center for Social Studies, which, as I said before, is where ECOSOL is actually working. And URBiNAT tries to provide a public space to create new urban, social, and nature-based solutions within and between neighborhoods. I think URBiNAT is essentially a people-centered project, and the social and solidarity economy, which is the focus of ECOSOL, is essentially a people-centered economy. So the nexus is quite clear. Well, this is just to give you a very brief idea of what we do at ECOSOL. I don't know if Lucian is there and wants to add something. Thank you.
Thank you, Andres. I don't know if I think during the debate, Luciani can provide some information, and Luciani also stay with us in the first meeting. So during the debate, is good if she can establish some connection between the first meeting and what we'll discuss during the meeting during this meeting today. So thank you, Andres. For us, it's very important this partnership with ECOSOL and the different reflexive debate that we can establish today, and of course to continue to discuss with you in the other contexts, in the other moments. So now I would like to now is indeed. I would like to give the floor to Yuri. Thank you, Yuri Bruni, to accept our invitation and to assume this role to moderate this round table. Thank you a lot, and I will continue here to support you if you need some for any things. So thank you, and I would like to give the floor for you.
Okay, thanks to the URBiNAT team for this invitation and this seminar. I'm very happy to moderate this one, just because the solidarity economy, it's one of the main focus of the project and what's in line with my work inside the authority, the administration of Siena, where I work. I'm a civil servant and I'm coordinator of the Department for Culture, Sport and Funding, and the project manager in the local team for URBiNAT. So I'm very happy to moderate this discussion on solidarity economy. As said, we will start with José Luis Fernandez Pacheco of the University of Extremadura, and then we will have some experience from the frontrunner cities of the URBiNAT project, Porto, Sofia, and Nantes. So let's go to the real people, and then let's talk about real projects and real experience. And so just to share our experience and our view on solidarity economy and probably on social innovation. First presentation is the one by José Luis Fernandez Pacheco. He is a sociologist, a social worker, and professor at the University of Extremadura and member of the URBiNAT Scientific Commission. He is a technician in local community development and most of all linked to the social and solidarity economy. So it's the best person to to start the discussion with his presentation, and he will speak about solidarity markets, social currencies, and the public space, challenges and opportunities. It's up to you, Jose. You have 15 minutes.
Thank you. I'm gonna start by I'm gonna share my screen, but I would like to start by saying thanks. Can you see my screen now? Yeah. I would like to start by thanking the CES, the URBiNAT team, and especially the CES team for organizing this seminar, and especially to Beatriz, Caetana, to Fabio, and Natalie, to be part of this organization of this seminar. I'm very glad to be here, connecting from Spain through Extremadura, and also very glad and pleased to be part of the scientific commission, because it is a gift to be working with colleagues and friends that I admire also. So it's nice to be here sharing with you my thoughts in this presentation. I'm going to introduce some of the thoughts and reflections that I've been thinking on along these years, where I've been working and participating through different local and social currencies, and also some community fundings, not only in Spain, but in other countries. And because some of them are going to be, some of my thoughts and reflections are part of what has been said, not only today through Beatriz or Natalie, but also in the former seminar that took place a couple of days ago, that it was so very interesting, and it's very linked with all these objectives of these URBiNAT projects. I'm going to talk about solidarity markets, social currencies, and the challenges and opportunities to be implemented or to be as a part of the urban planning or in the cities, because I tried to discuss why is social and solidarity economy, and most of it social currencies, are a good MBS for the cities, also for these front runner cities and the followers. But first of all, I like to start by introducing some previous concepts about economy, about the currencies, about money at the end, because something that we need to have in mind is that the money, the actual money, the money that we are now in the capitalist system is designed to extract income from the weakest groups and accumulate them into the wealthiest. So it's good to have this in mind before start discussing also about solidarity, about money, about currencies, about market even. And I recommend to you to read the works of a very nice economist, German economist, Margaret Kennedy, who was studying this about the interest, the compound interest on the money itself. So another issue that we will have in mind during my communication or during this discussion is that we need the money, we need the local currencies, we need the currencies to circulate a lot in the territory, a lot in the city. We don't need, we need money, not money that, not only one currency that goes to the international shopping mall and then goes to another country. We need the money to stay in the territory. So this is why we need to think about this complementary and social economy as a tool to make the money circulate into our neighborhoods, into our territories, into our villages. So we need the money to circulate because money is the blood of the system. So this is why we're introducing the local currencies and social currencies. And here comes Bernard Lieter also just to remind us what is money, because we never think about money. We just know how it works, but we are going to state money as an agreement within the community to use something as a medium of exchange. All right. And this is why I like to also, I'm going to do a brief reflections about what are social and complementary currencies, because we need to keep this in mind. Just to think about the possibility also of using complementary and local and social currencies as an MBS in the URBiNAT also. It's a complementary and social currencies is a tool created and used by communities, municipalities, groups of individuals in order to facilitate exchange, both of products and services or knowledge. They are attached to different objectives, elements, and values like solidarity, cooperation, sustainability that separate and differentiate them from conventional currencies. Okay, it is a means, not an end in itself. It's a complementary, and it's complementary to currency, to conventional money. That some people are thinking about this social money is trying to occupy the space of currencies, of national currencies. No, they're coming to complement and to with different objectives, and they try to transform also a little bit our economic systems, but it's complementary to the conventional money. And when I start thinking about sustainable and social inclusive cities through solidarity markets and social currencies, I guess is what I'm going to offer, right? I'm going to discuss. I'm going to put on the table to discuss later. I was thinking of we have an opportunity. Actually, nowadays we have an opportunity, a conceptual opportunity or mediator concept. When we talk about sustainable development goals, because everybody is knowing about sustainable development goals, and they're gathering all the different aspects that we want to discuss and we want to achieve with this solidarity and social economy, and with this trying to obtain or to get sustainable societies. We need this cycle, the sustainable development goals, and also the circular economy and the donuts economy, the Kate Raworth, which are concepts that everybody is getting to know in society. So this is an opportunity for us also to discuss and to achieve our objectives as trying to reach the solidarity and social solidarity objectives. When I think about what I'm gonna say right now, because I'm gonna try to hybridate my reflections with some experiences, and I think social solidarity markets and social currencies are in the cities are a revolutionary space where mutual help, values, and solidarity are the core of the experience. There's an opportunity there to work with these values in the cities, not in the cities and the municipalities. And there is a word I brought here that appears in one of the interviews I had, that is the concept of cuidadanos instead of ciudadanos, citizens, because one of the is talking about care citizens. Is we need to care each other, so we work with this, we play with this word of cuidadanos. So it's something that I brought here to discuss also. Solidarity markets and social currencies are schools of democracy. As Professor Pedro España was saying the other day, also we need to create, or even Boaventura de Sousa Santos I was mixing languages. We need to reinvent our democracy. We need to make a participatory democracy. And in these places, these experiences are schools of democracy, but also going a little bit further, these social currencies experiences are spaces to create sociocracy. Sociocracy is a step further of democracy. It's not the vote of the majority. Also, it's to reach consensus in decision making. So I have even in my evaluations, even in a currency that I was evaluating and participating, La Mora in Spain, they try to reach consensus, a decision that everybody was happy for. It's longer, the process of decision making, but everybody was happy at the end of the meeting, not only voting. It's something that even just in the discussion of participation, we are all growing. So it's nice to know that sociocracy could be a concept. We need. I thought these social currency experiences as a public spaces for a new and inclusive agoras. We need places to discuss. We need places to include everybody, not only the technicians, not only the politicians, not only the elite people, and we need everybody to discuss in a way. So we need this way. I talk about the inclusive agoras. We need participation living labs, and these community currencies are fantastic place to do that. And there are also, from my perspective and from my experience, spaces where you could socialize in an alternative economy. From my interviews that I had with the people in the different currencies, they say, well, I'm participating here. I'm not interchanging so much, but it's at school for me. I'm learning about economy. I'm learning about about how the economy works. So just participating through these social currencies and solidarity markets, they are socializing again in a different model. They are understanding the economy, the actual economic system. And also there are places to get the values of a socio-ecological transition that we need in order to be sustainable, in order to be to take care of the people, to be centered on the people. I brought here also a concept, perma-economy, which is an economy linked to nature. We need to think also about this, and during this, not only this discussion, but about the economic system. And also brought here a concept that I love, and I brought from South Africa, as I was telling before, is the Ubuntu. Ubuntu is I am because we are, and we are because I am. Is the Ubuntu. We need more Ubuntu. Ubuntu, and this social currency and solidarity markets are very rich in Ubuntu, because we need each other to go on further as a society and as a community. Social markets, social and solidarity markets and social currencies are tools, special tools for community bonding and creation of identity. So because they strengthen the relationships between members of the neighborhood, and also they create identity by occupying different spaces, by knowing each other, by creating links and networks between them. I get when from my experience, I ask about how their social networks grow. They said all the time that they start having new friends, they start having different relationships by participating in these social currencies, experiences, and solidarity markets. So even with COVID-19 around, they are helping to bond the community. So it's a good experience, and it's an opportunity too. These social currencies and solidarity markets also are an opportunity for mutual care and community support and well-being, as Luciane was saying the other day, which very, very interesting, because on these time banks and social currencies, we have a lot of opportunities of people knowing people caring of people, and they're at some point they're reaching there where the system are failing. Sometimes I know by experience, that I'm social worker too. We are not the social system, the social work, even the social services system are not reaching everybody. So there are some, and we also have challenges of this. But these community currencies are taking care of people and helping to mutual care. We have a lot of currencies, even inspired by the Japanese ones, the Furai Kipu. The Japanese ones were time banks where the elder people was cared by the rest of the society, and there was a social led system or a social currency involved. As also was mentioned the other day, solidarity markets and social currencies contribute to increase the local production and source circuits consumption. Since they are offering, agroecological products, from the vegetable gardens, as we are going to see along the day. These local currencies are facilitating, and solidarity markets are facilitating these short circuits in consumption. What you see here is the garden where I eat my food. It's a picture of one of the gardens near here, and I eat my vegetables paying with el candil, which is it's a community currency that we have here in Cáceres too. It's la manguria. Also linked to this, we can see, social currencies and solidarity markets helps or contribute to reduce the impacts derived from large globalized systems of productions, and we are reducing carbon footprint not only with the consumption of proximity products, but also with introducing a local currency, as we're going to see in a brief, La Mola, which is an experience in Spain, in Madrid. It helps to manage the waste in different neighborhoods, in different cities. I'm not going to be going deeper on this, because I know there will be more examples during the discussion, but La Mola is a currency that some of you know, that started in 2015 because of the citizens in Madrid in a pilot project in Madrid start to separate food, organic food, and the organic food, the organic waste, sorry, was used by ecological agricultures in near Madrid in a radius of less than 30 kilometers, and they start to receive local currency. At the beginning was a Vale Verdura, what's called, and they were using this Vale Verdura to buy vegetables, and then this voucher starts to grow and converts itself in La Mola, Materia Orgánica Liberada, in that one that you see there in green. And it was a local currency that started working in the municipality, in the neighborhood. And now we have more than 200 users, more than 8,000 molas has been issued also. And we have plenty of local shops involved in the municipality, in the neighborhood. This is and also an example of co-creation and co-management of the waste, of the waste in the cities. We are reducing the waste, the organic waste at this point. So we are doing something, we are dealing with common goods. So it's something that we have to debate also, the co-creation. And we need to, this is another issue is that we are trying to Madrid City Hall to know more about this currency and to start introducing the currency as a discount for different things. And we are pushing the Mola go further on this. These complementary currencies, I'm going a little bit, I'm going to just put in some elements to discuss later, are, as I said, a perfect place to discuss sociological transition. As you can see there, the Bristol pound, for you, if you don't know, is a currency in a London neighborhood, also to have in mind, or the Kim Gower, and as also socio-ecological transition currency, but they are also helping us to link territories. This is why we call the bioregional construction or bioregional identities, because as you can see there, we have a currency called Eusko, which is there are two countries using that money, using that currency, France and Spain, the Basque country, the Spanish Basque country and the France Basque country. So this is why it's in two languages, and they are linking his bioregional economy, what they're creating. So there's some bioregional money that also creating and working nowadays, and it's another opportunity. Another opportunity is more taking into account the actual crisis and also the COVID-19. Is that these currencies are helping to dynamize the city's local commerce, because we need to, as you know, we are suffering this crisis not only by the COVID, but also because of the online shopping monopoly is sometimes at some point threatening the local commerce. So this kind of community currencies or social currencies and solidarity markets are helping to use these currencies in their own neighbor. This is what I was telling before. we need to circulate the money to circulate in the neighborhood. If not, the neighborhood is going to be empty, as I've seen in some parts of Spain and this region, Extremadura specifically. Here we are some examples of Irati, which is a currency used in Navarra, in the north of Spain. Or here we have a different money used for revitalize the historical city of Pamplona, also in Navarra. This is a good help, and it multiplies the effect of the money if we use these local currencies. Also, an opportunity for these local currencies is the inclusion of vulnerable groups and job creations. I'm not going to be farther from this, but in La Mola, in one of the currencies that I explained to you before, there are some vulnerable groups that are working in the gathering of the organic waste also, and they created some jobs and they start working on this, and thanks to this currency that is revitalizing the organic waste separation. Also, La Setana is a currency. It is working in Seville. In Seville, is south of Spain. It has social purposes of inclusion in that San Juan de Alfarache, which is near Seville. And here you have an example also of the Sol Violet, which is an NGO. It is based in Toulouse, and they are the Solidaires, the social money that they're promoting, are helping to the inclusion of vulnerable groups. But not only this job creation, but these spaces of local social currencies and solidarity markets are helping some people to start creating, to start a vocation, to start creating new jobs. Because this is a case study that I had in La Mora. La Mora, it was a LED system. It was a social currency. Three people started to exchange, to sell their products. They start to create products, cosmetic products in La Mora, and helping or fostering by the community. They start to test and they start to try. And then along the years now, they just jump to the Mercado Social, the other day we were talking about REAS, it's a Red de Economía Alternativa y Solidaria, Alternative Economy Network. And they are in REAS Madrid now selling their products, not only in the region, not only the money, not only the social experience, but now they're selling in a different market, also in a larger market. So there are spaces to create vocations and to create innovation and some jobs. As you will see later, also social currencies also and helping to encourage households to sort waste, including higher collection frequency, but not only organic waste, but also plastic waste. The currency that I showed you before, Irati in Navarra, they are collecting plastic and weighting the plastic, and is helping to get some Iratis, to get that currency, and to buy food, to buy everything, to buy services, and with this plastic collected, we are creating. We are working on a project that, if you don't know it, is precious plastic, that we are creating different objects and different mobility and different city objects like composting bins and different other objects in the city. So it will be a good idea, a good opportunity also for this URBiNAT NBS. This is an example of Irati, La Mola. There are examples of people participating in the composting all together. And this is an example. And I'm going to introduce some challenges that we have. I don't know how much time do I have, but I'm going to introduce some challenges, taking into advantage that also we have...
last 5 minutes, Jose.
5 minutes, yes.
Yeah,
thanks. Thank you. Also, some challenges that we have for these experiences in the cities, and some of the challenges is that we need the local and public policies. We need local and public policies that help to grow social currencies and solidarity markets. For example, public administration providing a space to facilitate these markets or these meetings. At some points, since they see these experiences like something so alternative. They're not helping to get those spaces, and we need public policies to get to promote more of these experiences. As far as I know, European Union is also providing, is also giving the floor to these experiences, because they understood from the Greece situation, and also from the other different situations, that they understood that we need biodiversity of money. Also, Bernard Lieter, the economist that I introduced to you before, talking about money, was one of the founders of the ECO, was one of the founders of Euro. But he was saying, we need euro the euro, but we need also the national money too, because we need a biodiversity of money in every place, in every territory. So this is why European Union is also financing some of the projects of local currencies, because they understand that we need biodiversity and also an economy. We need also the people that understands that we need this biodiversity of money to accept the social and local currency as a tax payment. Is something that some experiences in Spain are starting to do it, like La Grama in Santa Coloma de Gramenet in Catalonia, or even in Barcelona. REC is a social currency, a local currency that it works in Barcelona, and it is accepted by the city hall. So, but we need more politicians to know that this is helping the people. And as I said here,
Jose, go to the end, because we are moving.
Okay, great. Thanks, Yuri. Grazie. We need to educate in a new paradigm of prosperity without exponential growth. Something that we need to learn is we don't need exponential growth to be prosper. So we have to educate ourselves, not only ourselves, but as a society. But we need to talk about the growth paradigm. We need to think about this concept too. And we need a new participatory framework where the management of common goods is made counting on the community. Not only participatory budgeting, as we have some experiences, but also we need to educate on participation. We are not educating in participation. We need we think that both is participating, but it's not. So this is one of the challenges that I have, and I'm finishing here, Yuri. I hope I will continue later. Obrigado, thank you. Gracias, merci.
Thanks.
We will continue later.
Yeah, thanks, Jose Luis. Thanks for your presentation, a big presentation on the link between solidarity economy and policy making and the future deliberative democracy or sociocracy. Let's see the everyday application of these theories in our presentation from the frontrunner cities. Please can be short than you knew, just because the time is going on. So from Porto, Ana Ferreira, and she will speak about solidarity economy and NBS, and with a focus on connections between participation and urban planning. Anna is a project manager for URBiNAT at Porto Municipality, a project that is led from the Municipal Environmental Planning and Management Department. She is a biologist with a master in conservation biology. Her professional experience is focused on the management of projects related to the recovery of urban ecosystem. Please, Anna.
Thank you, Yuri. Thank you so much. You made me look so important. Thank you so much. And thank you also to Sej for the initiative. It's very important to have these moments to share our experience as well. So I'll just share my screen, just a little. Natalie, I have authority to do that? I don't know. Just try again. Just try again. Okay, here it goes. Okay. Okay. Can you see my screen? Yes? Yeah, okay. So is it fine like this? I'll just put it on the top, sorry. Should start from the beginning, right? So hello everyone, I'm Anna. Yuri already presented me. So I work at Porto Municipality.
and I'm the project manager for URBiNAT. And basically today I would like just to very quickly show you, and Yuri, I promise I'll just use my time faster than as fast as I can. So I just would like to share what we're doing in URBiNAT and how we went from a participatory process until the moment where we arrived to the solutions, to the nature-based solutions that are related to social economy and solidarity as well. So just to locate you in what I will talk today, I'll just briefly tell you where we are in the project in the city. I'll just briefly go through the co-creation process that we had, how we arrived to the Healthy Corridor project, and how we went from there to the social economy and solidarity practices that we aim to implement in the project intervention area in URBiNAT. So here you have the map of Porto. In yellow, you see the company parish, and in red, you'll see the intervention area of the project. So as you can see, this is a very oriental area of the city. Is an area that it's with a lot of green, but it's very, let's say, it's very limited in terms of accesses and everything else. So these people here become kind of isolated in terms of social economy. It's an area where citizens face a lot of difficulties in this area. It has been forgotten through time, but now Porto municipality is requalifying this area, is very focused on this area and trying to requalify it in the 3 dimensions, so environmental, social, and economic. So yeah, here it goes. And the intervention area of URBiNAT is that area in white right there. So as you will see, and comparing to the whole city, is a smaller area, but we are focused in using this specific area to activate a lot of initiatives that will have impact beyond that specific area, just to give these notes. So in terms of the intervention area, we chose this specific area because it has some of the main municipal social housing and some of the main schools of the area. So we understood that developing URBiNAT without these institutions and without involving these residents in these neighborhoods where citizens are facing a lot of difficulties in terms of social and economy difficulties. So we aim to involve these communities in this project, and we couldn't do it any other way. So basically the processes of the project are here stated. So the process started, of course, with Co-Diagnostic, because we needed to know what is the current situation of the project in all different areas, environmental, social, economic, etc. So we would be able to co-design the solutions to solve the identified opportunities and identified challenges. And so after that step, which we already finished, the part of co-design, we were able to acquire a final project for the area that I will show you further. But this is just for you to notice the main steps of this project, that is the co-design, the co-diagnostic, the co-design, and after that we will have the co-implementation and the co-monitoring of the solutions that we will implement. So I'm just showing this scheme that seems a bit confusing, but I will just break it down for you. So this is just to explain how we went from the co-diagnostic to the co-design. So basically we started to engaging the citizens. We did a lot of analysis to the territory, territorial analysis, socioeconomical data, behavioral mapping, surveys, participatory activities, so we could achieve to a local diagnostic report where we know an updated situation, a real situation of this area. So what were the main difficulties, the challenges, the needs? We identified all of these, and we started co-developing the solutions with the citizens and within local institutions and involving all local actors. And we arrived to a list of solutions that could solve the local problems. And of course, we had to categorize them in a very consistent way in terms of technical feasibility, financial feasibility, timing feasibility, in terms of would it then be possible to implement in the time of the project or not. So we arrived to a possible list of solutions that could be developed inside URBiNAT, and that were the ones that we will develop from now on inside URBiNAT. Of course, there were other solutions that were not feasible right now, but they were forwarded to the municipality organic units for further implementation upon when it would be possible. So just to conclude that we arrived to the final project that we would implement, but of course, I will just break it down and just making the bridge to the solidarity economy solutions. Not all of the solutions that we will implement will be material. So will be materialized in a urban project. So most of them will have social characteristics and they will be implemented inside the area, but they will have impacts beyond that. And I will explain it to you further. So this is the area that you see highlighted, is the area where we will implement our project, the so-called healthy corridor, okay? And inside this project, we will distribute the different nature-based solutions that we will implement. And as I was telling you, some of them will be material, for example, building a urban garden or building an amphitheater for developing different activities, but some of them will not be materialized, let's say. So they are sports and leisure initiatives, there are solidarity markets, they are this kind of solutions that have this more social and solidarity dimension. And of course, our colleagues from SEJ have a very strong participation here as well in our project to give us support in this area that we are not specialized, of course. So we count on their support also for this development as well. So here in this map, I just highlight the main four social economy and solidarity practices related nature-based solutions that we want to implement. So just to give you a small disclaimer, these initiatives will be further implemented from now on. So they are not finalized yet. So they are in the process of starting the development and implementation with all the actors involved. So the people that had the ideas, local schools, municipal technicians. So everyone is involved in this process and starting to build these solutions together. Okay, so we're talking about a community mobile kitchen. So here what you see, I don't know if you see my cursor, no? But here you see where it points to the community mobile kitchen. You see it's a urban farm that the municipality manages. So in this area or around it, we aim to develop a community mobile kitchen, a community-based management urban garden. We already have the urban garden, but we are trying to have specific areas inside this for special community-based management. And also we aim to develop a solidarity market and develop a support structure to the Oriental City Park to support different initiatives in this area. So just to give you a very brief image of these solutions that we aim to develop, this is the idea for the solidarity market that we aim to implement. So just to tell you, we don't know exactly what are the terms where this will be implemented. We are working that right now. So this is a great opportunity for these connections that this event is also creating for us to drink from the experience that José Luis Fernandez was just stating, for example. So we are very open to share these experiences because we are just starting to develop these solutions right now. So it's the perfect timing for this. So the municipality already develops different markets at the moment, but this aims to have a more social and solidarity dimension that we don't implement yet in other places, in other markets. So this will be kind of an innovation for the municipality in this sense. We already have many social initiatives, but not specifically related to these markets. So the initiatives that José Luis Fernandez was explaining are very interesting to drink from that experience as well. And I hope we can speak a bit further about it. So this is just to give you the ideas that we have right now in our hands to work on. This is the idea for the community mobile kitchen, where we would like, and many.
Please, Anna, go to the end.
Yes, I will just close it. Thank you, Yuri. Thank you so much. And this is our urban farm, where we want to implement a community-based management as well. We already have some guidelines for management, but we are trying to integrate some principles for this community-based management to try to align both of these management techniques that we already have, and also the support structure in the area. So this is just to highlight the main ideas that we are developing, and we are right now just launching them. So it's the perfect timing to create these collaborations with our other projects that are more advanced. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Anna. You're great for time, so perfect. I can pass. I just ask Beatrice. Something is changing in the agenda. Can I go to Sofia? Is okay?
Just to before, sorry, Yuri.
Okay.
Just to ask for Ina if she can, if she would like to pose the questions to participate now, or if she can wait until more 15 minutes and to make your questions at 3.
Okay, sorry, Ina, for our time. I know you have to move.
Sorry.
Yes.
What do you prefer?
Maybe it's only some thoughts. Actually, I'm also from a sister. I'm from a sister project, EduCitNet from URBiNAT, and we focus on adipocity solution, which some of you already presented adipocity solutions, and we focus in our project on this. And of course, these are mostly bottom-up initiatives. They established without interventions from city administration, or partially also against city administrations on brownfields, etc., etc. And we experience in our project some difficulties that maybe we can discuss, or I would like to discuss this with you, that are related with the principles of solidarity economy, but they are, however, conflicting also with these organization forms of European projects. One of the objectives of the nature-based solution projects in this call is to co-create a master plan with city administrations to support these nature-based solutions. In our case, adipocity solutions that are normally bottom-up initiatives. And something that is also a point in the solidarity economy is the issue that how this comes together, that we want to empower local people, citizens, that they do something. We want to include those that need solidarity economy and those that need maybe these alternative currencies, but maybe we are not able to reach them. And also we have in these co-creation processes often the issue on power relations, that those that might have been more voice or more power in decision making are, in a certain way, maybe without having this purpose, but maybe for the mechanisms and whatever and how we work and how we include, we do not reach these goals. So what I would like to share with you that we try to learn mostly from these bottom-up initiatives that were created without any intervention from above. And the issue is that we also have always these limits, that there are really nice pilot projects. Some of you mentioned these nice projects, but we are not able to mainstream this, because there we come to the limits actually of the current economy and of the capitalist system, what Beatrice mentioned at the beginning. And therefore, I would encourage you to discuss how to deal with power asymmetries, how to make the discourse and the discussion on co-creation more democratic, more empowering those that need the solidarity economy, and not only those that are maybe really aware and wants, etc. But finally, they don't need it. Maybe in these adaptive city solutions, we have the situation that they do this in a certain time of their life, when they start studying in the university until the first kids, and then when they go back to make career, that these people disappear, and also the projects disappear. So there are really limits, and this is also including this issue on inclusivity, which was mentioned. And I really like the part of the subsidiarity, to keep it local. But our initiatives always complain that they are used by municipalities, by neighborhood management people, to solve problems that they can't solve. But if the problems are solved, then they should disappear. So there's no really recognition of the services they provide for the city, for the society. And on this, we should find solutions. Yeah, so maybe these points from our side. And I would like to share more and be more in this call, but I have also a kids issue. And so that's why I'm a bit in trouble with time. However, Beatrice and Natalie have our dates, our emails, and we will also have webinars, and we would like then to share our invitation and continue discussing on this issue. And it was really interesting to hear the insights from URBiNAT.
Thanks, Professor Ina. Thanks a lot for your speaking. I think what you are stressing is the real empowerment of these instruments, and so probably how these instruments can achieve a real empowerment, and so to better the life of people and even people with troubles. So I think it's the moment, that it's the right moment to introduce you Nadezhda from Sofia, and to focus on this network between private and public, and how a bread house, and she will tell us how a bread house can empower people attending it. I just introduced you Nadezhda Sabova-Grigorova. She is a cultural anthropologist from Princeton University, USA. She has explored and baked bread in diverse culture across 77 countries. So she is the best baker in the world, we think, and the best baker for peace and justice. I mean, the bread, it's the symbol of peace and justice. So how this symbol can become a real empowerment instrument. Please, Nadezhda. Thank you, Yuri.
If you want, I was planning to show a video, but it's better to just talk, right? We don't have enough time.
We can have it after in the round table, open discussion. Probably we can send the video.
Exactly. The video was just to help people really sense what we do, because when I talk about community bread making, if people have not really experienced it, they think, well, I've made bread at home, or, you know, sometimes it just sounds like something very kind of normal, standard. But actually, when you experience it in a community that is very mixed, with people with whom you would never talk to, or you would never have a chance to talk to, or if you meet them, you would not talk to because you would have a lot of prejudices towards them, then it's really amazing. Because the experience of everybody around the same table, making bread together, is extremely powerful. Why? I will explain. Because it's not really culinary. We talk about edible cities. Yes, it is edible. We can eat the bread we make in these events. But what is crucial is that actually we mix different art forms. So here I want to talk more about the role of the arts. We didn't stress this enough so far in our discussion, so I think it's important to think about it, because my whole doctorate dissertation and research and all these travels around these countries, they were actually part of my doctoral dissertation. That's why I got to travel so much. I was researching community cultural centers and networks of community centers in countries around the globe. I wanted to find out if the governments were financing such centers and if they had big networks. We have a huge network in Bulgaria. We have 4,000 of them. And in Latin America, there's a lot of them, Casas de Cultura. In Europe, some in different countries, Maison de la Culture, etc. So there's in Germany, some different varieties. So what I just want to stress here is that my idea to start community baking came from realizing that people, if especially they're from low-income neighborhoods, they have certain real fears, inhibitions to go and do arts. They think they're not good at it. They think they're for the high classes, you know, to do theater, to do music, to do dance. So what we need in urban regeneration, I really believe, is community cultural spaces. And the bread houses are a type of a community cultural center. That's how I started it. I tested the idea at my grandmother's house. It was falling apart in a small town in Bulgaria called Gabrovo, not Sofia. And I was the only heir to the house. So I said, okay, let's test it. Let's call it community center. Let's get everybody to bake. And then the miracle happened, because when you tell people come bake, they come. You don't tell them come make theater. You don't tell them come, you know, draw. It's not about something that would scare them. Everybody likes to bake bread. Everybody thinks it's simple. And that's why people come. Very different people come. Rich and poor and with disabilities, with all kinds of disabilities, physical, mental, blind, really people from all walks of life. So what's crucial here is that when we bake, we actually create art, but you don't tell this to people. So we start with drawing in flowers. Some of you have experienced it in Sofia at the bread house. So we draw. Then from the drawing, we come up with a theater plot, with an idea. We decide on a topic. Let's say the topic is how we want to change our city. And then people start dreaming. So they create a whole theater, really a theater of how they want to change the city. And then from the dough, we make puppets. They're real bread puppets that we can play out as a puppet theater. And that's why we call the method theater of crumbs. We are all like little crumbs of the bread inside that theater performance. And we have an additional method with music. We call it kitchen music. When people create a poem, and then to the poem, they create a song with only kitchen utensils, you know, with pots and pans and jars full of seeds. It's kind of like the Brazilian samba that started in the kitchen, you know, with graters and knives and metal plates. I've studied samba, and that's why samba inspired me to do that. You know, I got different inspirations, and Theater of the Oppressed of Augusto Boal. I got trained in the Theater of the Oppressed during my dissertation. So I drew a lot of inspiration from Latin America to develop the bread houses. And it just all came together into this bread. It all got mixed into it. And it just really worked. Poems, music, theater, drawing, acting, but you don't tell people come make art, right? That's the whole point. That's how you get them to come. Anna in Porto, you can try in the community mobile kitchen. You know, if you tell them come cook, even then they might get a bit scared, because they might say, oh, I don't know how to cook. There's kids, they shouldn't use knives. You know, it's not safe enough. With bread, you're always safe. That's the whole point. It's soft, kids cannot damage themselves. It's easy, it's fun. And in Peru, for example, when I was going to this global conference on well-being and the arts, that's when I met Patch Adams, and he actually inspired me to try it as a therapy. And now we call it bread therapy. It's officially certified as a new type of art therapy. We train a lot of art therapists around the world. So Patch Adams, the humor therapy, you know, father, he was impressed that we got men join the bread making, because there were a lot of art workshops in a community in Peru, in Iquitos, on the Amazon, in the Amazon jungle, and men never joined. It was always women and children. But we got the men somehow inspired to make bread. So to them, it sounded like something cool to make, you know, bread, you know, it's, you put some muscle into it. It's tactile. Also, the product is very tasty, you know, the smell, just the taste of hot bread is unbeatable. So you get men to join. If you work with refugees, we work a lot with refugees in Bulgaria, in many other countries where we've trained people. With refugees, it's amazing that the men come, because believe me, if you haven't worked with refugees, you know it's very difficult to get the men into such activities. So it's very intergenerational. So just to give you an idea what the bread houses could be, I would say 3 types of initiatives. One is a program that any NGO can develop. So even an NGO that doesn't have any space, we train the person at the organization or just an individual, and he or she start organizing events even in the street. You know, I started in the streets of Harlem in New York, baking bread with gang members and policemen, and nobody could believe that we got policemen and gang members making bread together, but it works. So you just set up a table in a park and you start using the method. So it's kind of like a fair type of event, and any organization can do it. Then the second stage would be to create a space, right? That's what we speak about. It's important to have public spaces, especially if you're a country where it gets cold. So to have a community center, a community space. So then it could be a part of a community center that already exists, or you can really create a bread house somehow, you know, if you have an old house or funded by a project, that could be a community center. So in this case, we developed a social enterprise model where we have a lot of paid services. One of the best paying service was the team building one. We call it bread building. So we have a lot of companies that, you know, that they pay a good amount of money for team buildings. You know that team building is a big part of budgets for companies. Birthday parties, family therapy, we call it love bread or family bread, many types of services that we created to have different people come as a paid service. And then for free, we do at least 3-4 times a week, even sometimes twice a day, therapy with people who cannot pay, and for centers for people with special needs that come. But the key for the bread house, that's what really makes it special, is we try to mix people who would otherwise not mix with others. So if we have a center for people with Down syndrome come to us, we would invite others on Facebook or others that we know to come and join as well. So that's when you really get social inclusion and social revitalization. That's when people who would have never touched or spoken to a person with Down syndrome make bread with that person. And then they're like friends for a lifetime. So the key is to mix. We have this motto, you know, we need to mix, need like kneading bread, but we also need indeed to mix. So that's if you have the community space, you can also finance yourself with the services. But the third best option, I would say, most sustainable option that really speaks to the social solidarity economy we are talking about is the bakery. So we have proven a model of a social bakery in Sofia. My husband and I founded it in 2014 when we got married. We just wanted to test the model. We started just with 5,000 leva, which is 3,500 euro. It sounds really small amount for a bakery. We just bought a second-hand oven and rented a space, and he was baking and I was selling, and that was it. And slowly, we really got it working. Now we have 15 employees. We have had at least 30 people trained through it, orphans, people with disabilities, people with trauma, with depression, you name it. So it's both a training center and a bakery, and we have a space in the bakery that has a big community table where we can have events as well. So the bakery offers free baking for the community. So it really is a mix, community center and a bakery. So I would, urge the cities to try, to maybe fund such an initiative because in Latvia, we have a bakery that opened based on our model. The municipality liked the idea. They gave a space to an NGO working with Down syndrome patients. And now it's a really famous bakery. The people from the whole city and the whole area come to it. It's a fairly small city, Ventspils in Latvia. So it was a very successful project. And they offer both paid events, they sell bread, pastries, all kinds of products. So I guess I summarized for you the 3 types that could be used for social revitalization. And I would just stress as a conclusion that what we generate, to speak the language of social economy, is social capital. We haven't used this term so far, but that's really what we try to do. We generate social capital. I call it also community creative capital in one of my articles, because I really think the creativity is the one that creates a special type of capital, bonding people, the creativity, the arts, community creative capital. Yes, now we had to move a little bit more online, training people around the world online through a platform called Bread Therapy. And we also send out this game. It's called Bakers Without Borders. It has summarized inside the Theater of Crumbs method, the main one. We have 23 methods and programs, but that's the main one I explained to you. So we are trying to find out ways to defeat COVID and to connect to people around the globe and to help them connect to their communities in smaller groups or in whatever the regulations in the country are. But it works. We can still be high touch, even in a high-tech era. Well, thank you. I shouldn't.
Thanks, Nadezhda. Thanks really for your experience, because it's so exciting. I mean, and it's so poetic. So thanks for your explanation. And for sure, in Siena, we are really interested in implementing it. I hope in every URBiNAT city. And, you know, in Italy now there is an important discussion on culture-based regeneration. I mean, how culture and sport, for example, all immaterial things can implement a real regeneration, human, social, and urbanistic. So that's important to have all the 3 elements, just because if you have a public space, but you don't have people inside, it's useless. So you need public space, you need empowered people, and you need structured in the spaces like your bread house or whatever. Thanks, really, thanks, Nadezhda. And now we move to France, from Bulgaria to France, to Nantes Metropole. The people and our colleagues from Nantes today are in a participatory process, and so they cannot be here, but Natalie Nunes will explain us some experience of Nantes Metropole, focusing on policymaking. So we explored the dimension of participation and urban planning, the dimension of cultural-based regeneration, and now policymaking in. Please, Natalie.
Yeah. Very hard now to present after Nadezhda and Ina, because their presentation and comments were very challenging and inspiring. So I will try not to replace my colleague from Nantes, because I can't, even if her name is Natalie, mine as well. But I will try to talk about Nantes as a front-runner city who has been inspiring a lot all the members of our community of practice. Nantes is inspiring because they have a lot of experience also in participation in their citizen dialogue. And even as in cultural terms, they have a strong component about how culture can be a platform for dialogue and for social cohesion. So my colleague Nathalie Rogues-Villette from Nantes, she prepared a presentation that she asked me to introduce a little bit, but I will try to focus the main aspect that she wanted to convey today. So first, that social and solidarity economy in Nantes represents 16% of the jobs of the private sector. And that in Nantes Métropole, so the administrative unit of Nantes and around, not only the city itself, relies on the EcoSolis. It's a cooperation and social innovation cluster, one of the main actors that implements the strategy co-constructed with Nantes Métropole. So this is briefly the context. They have 5 priority sectors. One of the waste, short circuits and food, habitat, the digital area, and also the caring services, so assisting people. So there is a history from the last 20 years in Nantes of developing the strategy and putting in operation in the area of social and solidarity economy. So the development strategy started 20 years ago, and the co-construction process happened along the years, and it mobilized, for example, in 2015, 300 participants at a launch event in April. With more than 100 contributions in a dedicated blog. So you see some examples of how the participation has been very active in this co-creation process of this strategy that was embraced and promoted since the beginning by a public policy, but still open to the construction with the inhabitants and stakeholders. So they have this EcoSolis structure as a cluster promoting social and solidarity economy, and they created also an incubator named Solilab. So these structures are the operational translation of a strategy design a few years ago. And we will illustrate some of this. So the EcoSolis was created in 2002. It's a network with more than 300 companies. And its aim is to identify the problems, the needs, and the opportunities of social and solidarity economy with the economic actors, the institutions, and the inhabitants. So in the municipality in this has a strategy, a specific strategy for social and solidarity economy, which aims at consolidating the place of social and solidarity economy in the local economy. Its aim is also to participating in the development of the territories with a particular focus on urban policy districts and suburban areas. The urban policy districts in France, it's a public policy dedicated to specific neighborhoods or social neighborhoods. In French, we call it les quartiers prioritaires de la politique de la ville, so the priority neighborhoods for this public policy. So EcoSolis, I think that we were able to visit a little bit in Nantes when we had our technical visit in 2019. So you see the Solilab is one of the physical structure of EcoSolis. It's a former industrial place where people and organizations can go to experiment. So they can rent the premises. They can have office there, co-working. There, it's also a convivial space where you have a canteen and also a large shop to buy secondhand clothes and other furnitures. So it's also a third place. The third place is a concept which is being developed a lot in France. It's a place where you can put together many activities, but also a place of encounter. So people can meet, and so you have the professional place, your private place, and this place where you can put together all the these areas of mixing the different dimensions of the social life, your private and your public. So in Nantes, in the specific intervention area where the LC corridor is being developed, there are some initiatives that colleagues here of URBiNAT were able to visit. We have the Cube. The Cube, it's a Centre Unique de Bricolage, so the unique center of do-it-yourself. It's a place where people can learn techniques of do-it-yourself, and they can be also assisted in doing this, in doing specific activities to improve their homes or renovate some parts of their homes, the furnitures and the walls, painting, all these kind of things. But they also have a specific tool. It's called Bricomobile. So Bricomobile is an experimental device that moves around and makes available different tools, so people can also access and learn of all these things. Another example that Nathalie Rogues-Villette wanted to stress, it's also the etiquette. So you can see here, etiquette, it's a place for clothes exchanges. I think, if I remember well, that it's in the first floor of a cube, the cube structure. So it's very close. It's very central in the intervention area of Nantes. And you have also here an example of a food market, which opened in September 2013. This food market was co-constructed with within the framework of the Citizens Workshop in Nantes North, the intervention area. And it's aimed at being a place of meeting for citizens. And there are many occasional activities that are carried out by local associations there. Another initiative that is also promoted by the Ecosolis factory in Nantes Nord through a specific process that we just mentioned a little bit previously. So it's identify a problem or a need, involve the actors of the territory and the inhabitants, validate the type of solution, its relevance, and then transfer the idea to a project holder for the implementation. Here we have a common project between the municipality and the social landlord. With Ecosolis, they implemented an initiative for the ground floor of Villogia. It's a tower, it's a building for intergenerational conviviality between older ages and the youngest. The Ecosolis initiative also is an ongoing process with a diagnostic with stakeholders to map the existing initiatives. It's which happened in December 2020 in the case of Nantes Nord, focusing on URBiNAT intervention area. There was also
Nathalie, 1 minute less. Okay.
Okay, so there are also some exchange being organized with the inhabitants currently, and there will be a consultation to be launched soon. So the last thing that Nathalie Rogues-Villette and our colleagues from Nantes wanted to share with us, it's about the vegetable garden there. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the lockdown last year, the gardeners from the cities, they had the initiative to use the public gardens to produce vegetables. And fruits, and this initiative is remaining and is being developed upon the lessons learned during this process of what kind of distribution is needed, what kind of plants and other vegetables must be grown. And so in the frame of URBiNat, there are 2 plots that are being sought in the healthy corridor in the intervention area, one called the inhabitant plot and the other the gardener plot. And so that's, that will continue all these lessons learned, focusing on that the COVID-19 and this pandemic highlighted existing challenges, but also existing opportunities for social and solidarity economy as an alternative solution for old and new problems. I'm finished, Yuri.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, and sorry I'm the cutter for the presentation, but someone has to do it. Okay, now I think it's better to stop a little bit. I invited every one of you and the audience following us on YouTube just to put some questions to the speakers, just write it on the chat and we will share in the audience afterwards. Now we will have a 5-minute break, so just an espresso, not a long coffee. And afterwards, we will speak with Andres Spognardi and Chiara Farinea and open discussion. 5 minutes and back. Bye. Okay, we are back again, so thanks. And now we start for the last part of the presentations and then the open discussion. So I just invite again everyone to pose some questions on the chat. Just write on the chat here on Zoom or on YouTube, then we will pose it to the different speakers. Now we start again. We have Andres Spognardi from Ecosol, and he spoke before about the project in chess. So as I told you, Andres is from the Ecosol, and he will speak about the cities, food waste, and the solidarity economy, the case of Portugal. It's really interesting. Even in other countries, I think to Italy, we had now a law for reusing food and for the problem of healthy and so on. So it's a very interesting item and focus. Please, Andres.
Thanks, Yuri. Well, Nadezhda before brought us an encouraging story of how food can contribute to improve our society. So I think in comparison, my intervention will be perhaps a little depressing because I will focus on the food we waste. What I would like to do here is to briefly describe the nature of the food waste problem and to introduce a few notes on the role that the social and solidarity economy and the local authorities are playing in what we may call the battle against food waste. So to put things in context, I think it's important to make a brief reference to the scale of the problem. According to FAO, around 1/3 of the global food production is lost every year. And this, of course, has profound social and environmental implications. Discarding food when many people are struggling to meet their basic nutrition needs is ethically problematic. At the same time, using resources to produce food that we will not consume means putting an unnecessary burden on the natural environment. FAO's report, for example, says that if food waste were a country, it will be the third largest world emitter of CO2, just behind China and the US. I think this gives us a clear idea about the magnitude of the food waste problem. But instead of delving further into the social and environmental consequences of food waste, which I think are easy to understand, I would like to call your attention to the causes of food waste, which I think sometimes are not properly understood. My point here is that we don't have to think of food waste as a result of some sort of failure in our food production and consumption system. We don't produce large amounts of waste because some critical part of our food system is not working properly. The reason why we produce a massive amount of waste is because the system has been configured that way. We have a waste-prone food production and consumption system. And the configuration of this waste-prone food system is the outcome of an evolutionary process that has taken decades and that is intrinsically linked to the development of capitalism. For decades, wasting food has been economically profitable for food producers and distributors. What I mean by profitable is that waste has been considered as just one more variable in the function of profit maximization of food waste producers and distributors. I won't discuss here the details of the historical process, but it's important to bear in mind that this profitability of waste has triggered a vicious self-reinforcing dynamic. After decades of naturally wasting food, a variety of waste-prone institutions waste of the food production and consumption have become institutionalized. Today we have regulations, infrastructures, technologies, supply networks, markets, and even consumer practices that are clear, favoring the wasting of food. And what follows from this is that we cannot tackle the food waste problem by fixing this or that aspect of the system we have. What we need is to change the system altogether. And changing the system means changing a wide range of institutions. Some of them are legal, some are economic, others are cultural. And this is a gigantic endeavor that can take generations to complete. So having a sketch, a rough picture of the nature of the food waste problem, now I would like to say a few words about what we are currently doing to deal with this problem. We as society, right? And here I would like to distinguish between two related but at the same time different approaches. I think Ina, in her remarks before, raised this topic. On the one hand, we have a top-down anti-food waste strategy, which is being developed and led by supranational institutions such as the United Nations and the European Union, and which is increasingly shaping the response of national and local authorities. And on the other hand, we have a bottom-up strategy, which has been put forward by grassroots organizations belonging to what we normally call the social and solidarity economy. And the timing and the interactions between these two strategies, the bottom-up approach and the top-down approach, are quite interesting. In Portugal, anti-food waste initiatives have been pioneered by social and solidarity economy actors. In the late 2000s, when the country was in the middle of a deep economic crisis, Antonio Costa Pereira began a campaign to sensitize the public opinion and to call public authorities into action. He eventually started an online petition asking for a revision of health regulations in the donation of food. This online petition was signed by more than, I think, 70,000 Portuguese citizens, and ultimately prompt the government to set a new food hygiene and safety protocol. And this regulatory change, in turn, paved the way for the emergence and development of a number of anti-food waste initiatives. Costa Pereira, the person who started this online petition, founded in Lisbon an initiative called Zero Waste Movement, which collects food surpluses generated in the food retail and service sector and coordinates the redistribution among people in need. And about the same time, also in Lisbon, it was established another social and solidarity economy initiative, quite similar to the Zero Waste Movement, called ReFood. These models have been replicated in Portugal and abroad. Today, both the Zero Waste Movement and the ReFood movement are operating in dozens of cities and towns across Portugal. And at the same time, they have created what I would say is a propitious environment for the development and involvement of new actors and the emergence of other types of anti-food waste initiatives from the social and solidarity economy. One of the most emblematic is perhaps Fruta Feia, Ugly Fruit, which is a consumer cooperative that purchases and sells for a reduced price fruits and vegetables that are rejected by retailers because of their ugly appearance. By ugly appearance, I mean that they are perhaps too small or have shapes or colors that do not match the expectations of the average supermarket consumer. Remember here what I have said about cultural underpinnings of food waste. As I mentioned before, in addition to this bottom-up approach, we have also a top-down approach to the food waste problem. In terms of timing, the top-down approach began to take shape when the social and solidarity economy anti-food waste initiatives were already in the field. ReFood and the Zero Waste Movement and the cooperative Ugly Fruit were all established between 2011 and 2013. 2014 was declared by the European Parliament the European Union Year against food waste. A year later, in 2015, the European Commission established a platform for combating food waste and began encouraging state members to take concrete measures to tackle the problem. And complying with the directives and recommendations of the European Union, in 2016, that is years after ReFood and the Zero Waste Movement began redistributing food in Lisbon. In 2016, the Portuguese government set up a specialized body, the Comissão Nacional de Combate ao Desperdício Alimentar, the National Commission for Combating Food Waste, which in turn has devised a comprehensive action plan to deal with the problem of food waste. So,
Andres, 1 minute to close.
Okay, so I think what is important to bear in mind is that we have on the one hand a complex problem, which is deeply rooted in our culture, technological, economic, and social political institutions. And on the other hand, we have two different approaches to this complex problem carried out by two quite different set of actors. I don't think I have the time, but probably in the debate, I would like to mention how cities will play, the role that cities will play in this story. They are somehow in the middle of these two types of approaches. Thank you.
Thanks, Andres, and thanks for this complex picture of the problem for food wasting. And yeah, I think that what we can see is how environment, food, public space are correlated in our life and even in the project. So it's perfect for this seminar, and thanks for your intervention. Now we have the last presentation from Chiara Farinea. Chiara will speak about advanced community gardens and the short agri-food circuits. So we will stay in the same argument. Chiara is from IAC, and she's an Italian architect and urban planner, and she has a PhD in UAV Venice, and research focuses on environmental planning and design. Chiara is even the project member in URBiNAT for IAC. So please, Chiara, your intervention. Chiara?
Voila, I'm on mute.
Okay.
Thanks a lot for the introduction, Yuri. Yes, so today I'm going to speak about advanced community gardens and short agro-food circuits, and especially about a project that we are implementing in Barcelona, which name is Comida, and that is developed through a process of co-design. So I'm going to start with with some projects that led us to this project. So it is a project that started some years ago. Its name is Photovoltaic, and we were working on how digital technologies could help us to implement nature-based solutions in cities. So we developed this tile that can be used horizontally or vertically, and it is used for both food and energy production, in the sense that this tile is equipped with a biophotovoltaic system, and the biophotovoltaic system is a system to harvest the energy that is produced by the bacteria that are living near to the roots of the plants. Moreover, we are using the digital technologies and digital manufacturing to create the upper part of this tile that is studied in a way that we can bring the water towards the plant. It is developed with a parametric program for which we can easily change the amount of holes depending on where we are going to implement the project. This gives us flexibility, and it is equipped with a set of sensors, and also we provide an app to the users. So this is basically the technical background of our project. And this is the prototype that we developed, and an image. So from this project, we continue to develop it in a project for vertical walls. And in this case, we were using 3D printing. So you can see the very first prototype that we did of this pot to host food production and again energy production, but we were changing the manufacturing technique in order to be more flexible. We based it on a large-scale 3D printing research that we performed on the year before. Here are some images from the large-scale 3D printing, and this is the final vertical wall. So this wall is what we started to work on with the communities. So we had this, let's say, technical development, and with also a system of sensors to monitor and to manage the project, and also to irrigate the project with the app. Moreover, we had this flexibility with the 3D printing that allow us to redesign according to the wishes of the citizens. So now I'm going to explain you how we are redeveloping the project with the citizens. We are developing it in Barcelona, in Poblenou, which is the area where also the Institute for Advanced Architecture of Catalonia is located. We are developing the project with two groups of citizens, which are co-managing two shared spaces in Poblenou. The first shared space is Connect Art, the image on the left. That is a group of young researchers, practitioners that are co-managing this garden in the city of Barcelona. And the second group is the group of Passage Trullàs. That is the second garden that is co-managed by a community which has, let's say, a different profile. It's a profile of women that are together managing this space. As you can see, they already set up a vertical system. So what our strategy is to implement in Passage Trullàs the prototype that you saw, that we already had at the beginning of the project, to study its functioning with the collective of people of Passage Trullàs, and in the meantime to learn from this process and to develop from scratch a new bigger project for the area of Connect Art. So we invited our stakeholders in the Institute for Advanced Architecture of Catalonia. We choose the plants to be planted with the group of stakeholders. We explained all the technicalities of the project, how it was harvesting the energy, how they could use the app in order to manage it, also to try to also experiment with another kind of group of people, how could it work. So we installed it in the prototype that we already had, redone with the flowers and the concept that was chosen by this group of people. So these people that are managing this space, these women, they were interested in having a concept that was focusing on also on ecosystems. So they wanted a garden that could give food to people, but also to butterflies specifically. They were calling their space like the Jardín de las Mariposas, that is the garden of butterflies. So we decided with them which plants had to be planted. And also now we are designing with them a system of some wood that we printed that we are placing in every pot, where we will say when people can harvest it, the things that are in the pots, or not harvest them, because the vecinas, the people there, they decided that they want the people that are using this space, that normally are going there for lunch, they want to offer this food that is produced. Also the flowers are edible flowers. However, sometimes these plants has to grow, so they decided that they want to manage the plants and to place a signal that they can change, saying where people can eat and when people cannot eat the food. And they will be the person that will be in charge of managing and deciding. On the other side, with the other group that, as you can see from the images, it's a younger group and has a different profile. The people that are managing the other garden, the basic group that is managing the other garden, because there is a much wider group of people that are coming there and cultivating. However, it's a small group between 5 and 10 people, the person that are daily managing the space and organizing the activities. So the profile of these people are, they come all from like living science, or they have a scientific profile, and you will see the difference and how they influence the project. So we were having labs of co-analysis of the space and of the direction where we wanted to go. So then using still technical analysis, we were analyzing the wall where we are going to implement this prototype, and we were seeing where there is the shadow and where there is the more lighting, in order to make also choices for the plants that we are going to plant according to the lighting, which is of course important when we are speaking about living systems. So then we were starting to set up a first idea of how to organize, and with these panels and this printed, we were defining with this group of people what to implement, so also the concept. And they were saying that they want in the upper part specific tiles that are thought for pájaros, birds, and murciélagos, which is a bat. Then they want to give food for humans in the middle part, and to the insects in the bottom part, so that the insects can come there and to create an ecosystem. Then we were studying how to improve our pots to have a better lighting. So this was the first prototype that is implemented in the other garden, and this is the second prototype implemented in the new garden with a better better lighting. Then here we started to study the different modules for birds, baths, some modules just to give water to the birds and some other to create a nest for the birds, and then how to manage the insects. Moreover, we propose them to, as they want the more as possible biology and also microbiology, bacteria, and also small insects. So we propose them to use also the surface to create small pots for the insects to go inside, or also for the water to go inside and create a bigger humidity. So they accepted this idea, and we are working on, and they ask us to work in the bottom part in a way that it will be more as possible colonized by the like moss, for example, or bacteria. So we are working also to have in the bottom part the ceramic, which doesn't have any glazing, any cover, so that it can be more porous, it can attract more life. Let's say that life will affect also the external part of the pots. So here the first studies and conformations, and
1 minute to the end.
Sorry?
1 minute. 1 minute.
Okay, I'm done. So here some further studies, and moreover the group of people that are managing this space, the connector people, are going to create a small lake in front of it, a humid area. So we are studying the interactions between the world that we are going to create and also this humid area below. So this is the state of the art and the current point of this project, and we will build the prototype in summer and implement it in September. So you can follow the Comida project on all its website and all the social media if you want to learn more. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Chiara. So we have a perfect circle, just because we started from the general point of view, and we are ending with a civic project implementing in Barcelona. So we have all the circle of life, we can say. Now the round table is, and the presentations are ended. So if you have some question, please write on the chat. For the people on Zoom and for the people on YouTube, no problem. Just write on the chat, and then we will collect them and we will ask to the speakers. At the beginning, we have two first questions. We have one question for Nadezhda. I think she's here. Are you here, Nadezhda? Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, perfect. Okay, just a question about the role of public authorities and municipalities. Municipalities are the core stakeholders of URBiNAT. So how can the municipalities promote the bread house network, and which local policies, according to you, are important for the development of this network? Just spaces, or we need something more? It's not enough, the space. What do you think?
Yes, spaces definitely helps. We had 2 cities in Bulgaria give us spaces, and that helped us a lot. You don't have to pay rent, which is a huge burden on many organizations. But also, especially when you start social bakeries, it would be very useful to have the government, municipality or national help you with the salaries of these people. And in Bulgaria, we don't have such, we hardly have such social programs. I know in other countries, there's more subsidies for people with disabilities or other vulnerable groups to be hired, to hire them as employees. That would have helped us in the bakery, but we didn't find such a social program. So we somehow managed to hire people slowly, but that would help a lot for starting a social bakery. Space, partial salaries, and I guess promotion, it would be great to just be featured in different promotional materials of the municipalities as good practices, but that would help for any initiative, I'm sure, just to get more people to know about the existence of, you know, the community initiative in general. That would help. Yes.
Thanks. So the context and the approach of municipality in involving people, and for example, in participatory process, or according to what we said with Jose Luis, the sociocracy, so developing the deliberative democracy will create a context in which Bread House can really implement empowerment.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Thanks, Nadezhda. We have another question for Andres. And the highlight is this one. Can you talk about the city role in this different approach on food waste, and in particular, how the urban public space can be used, for example, in terms of physical and material or practical solution? So the connection between what you talk about, the food waste and the public space.
Yes. Well, I think to answer this question, we need to bear in mind that the largest amount of food waste is produced at the end of the food supply chain, in the distribution and consumption phase. And distribution and consumption are two activities that are mainly carried out within city borders. As we all know, urbanization is increasing rapidly, and some projections suggest that by 2050, cities will consume like 80% of the global food production. So there is no doubt that cities are and will increasingly be the setting of the battle against food waste. And this places a colossal responsibility on the shoulders of local authorities. City governments are and will increasingly be exposed to the demands of two different sets of factors. Social and solidarity economy organizations leading what I previously called the bottom-up approach, and national and supranational institutions promoting what I have referred to as the top-down approach. To a large extent, we can say that both approaches complement each other. If we look at the Portuguese case, the most emblematic social and solidarity economy anti-food waste initiatives, ReFood, the Zero Waste Movement, Cooperative Fruta Feia, fit perfectly well into the notion of circular economy, which is the backbone of the top-down approach developed by the European Union, and which is increasingly being adopted by national policy frameworks across Europe. So at least at first glance, we have a perfect coherence between the bottom-up and the top-down approaches. However, I think it's important to add, I would say, no caution on this interpretation. Behind this apparent coherence, there are actually some fundamental differences that can eventually lead to conflict. I think in her intervention, Ina mentioned this potential source of conflict. In the case of food waste, the circular economy is certainly a step forward for sustainability, but it also has its limitations. In the circular economy, to another process. In the examples I gave before, food surpluses are that came from the capitalist market are redistributed or resold instead of being thrown away. But the notion of circular economy does not necessarily challenge one of the main sins of the capitalist mode of production, which is producing more than we actually need. Initiatives from the social and solidarity economy, on the other hand, are likely to have more ambitious, transformative goals. The social and solidarity economy ultimately aims at transforming the system, not at improving the efficiency of the system we have. So because of the key position that cities play in the battle against food waste, local authorities are likely to be exposed to radical transformative pressures from below and, let's say, less radical transformative pressures from above. And in this scenario, the challenge for local authorities will be to balance potentially conflicted demands and making sure that top-down measures, such as, for example, available funding and support for the circular economy, do not undermine the full transformative potential of grassroots social and solidarity economy initiatives.
Thanks, Andres. Just because this issue, the problem of a sort of conflict, we are just transforming reality, or we have to change reality. So we mentioned a lot of times the word change, and in my mind it comes social innovation, and my mind comes and a question to Jose Luis Fernandez Pacheco. In your first presentation, you spoke about some ideas and some experience in social economy and the solidarity. What do you think about the implementing of social innovation in the urban regeneration policies and in the European policies? We have not so many programs focusing on social innovation. So in the real transformation and a real impact in everyday life. And then another question, always to Professor Fernandez Pacheco, this about the SDGs framework. Are the initiatives and the groups you have been assessing in your presentation also critical regarding the SDGs framework? So this potential conflict come to the surface?
Thank you, Yuri. Both are very nice, very good questions. Responding the second one, yes, a lot. I mean, even myself, I'm critical with Sustainable Development Goals, and it's necessary to be critical. I mean, we need to be critical with everything, with all the policies, because it's where we could change things. And as far as community currencies and social currencies experiences, there is some myriad of different experiences. It depends on the objectives. There are some promoted by local administration, by municipalities, that they will be kind of aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals, because are the official kind of umbrella concept to trying to address the sustainable development, which is also a concept that we could criticize, if not, I mean, if it's full of sense or not, it's full of sense or not. But also we have different community currencies or social currencies that are on the opposite side. They are just betting, they are thinking about the growth. They're thinking about changing the system as itself. So of course they are critic. They are very critic. I mean, they say, okay, this is a United Nations concept, but at the beginning, at the end, it's inside the system. So even the goal number 8 tells about economic growth, which is something that is also a very it's an opposite of what we need right now. We don't need this kind of growth, exponential growth, because we see that index like the gross domestic product that is not valid for prosperity. I mean, it's valid for destruction of ecosystems. So of course they are critic. Of course we are critic. I'm critic also with the Sustainable Development Goals. What it's useful for is to start to think, or to make people talk, or to start as a concept mediation with the society. And to start talking about the system, even the economic system, or to talk about feminist, or to talk about sustainable development in a different way. But I think it's we need to be critical, and also I'm critic, and we need to keep on working in some of the index. It is an umbrella to talk the sustainable development goals, but even the concept is everybody's in the alternative communities are saying we are very far from the scenario where we should have reached to the transition. So we just start thinking about sustainable development goals. We should have thought about it long decades ago. So we're very critic, and I am, and we need it. and as far as the social innovation that you ask,
yeah, if social innovation, if institutionalizing social innovation, for example, in political framework and in European framework programs can help us to change and not just to transform reality. According to you, social innovation approach can be a starting point, it can be an instrument to find the balance between the conflict you mentioned.
Yeah. In this point, I will say I will be aligned also with Andres, what Andres said about we need to change the system at some point, because even the European Union or even administration is trying to hit everything. I mean, trying to send messages in one side that we need to change some things, but of the other side, in a darker place, they're still promoting the same politics. So sometimes I guess social innovation is a good point to start, but I'm afraid the social innovation it would happen also like a sustainable development. This social innovation concept, it's kind of gathers everything, and it would be great if they were seeds to change some things. But if it's a concept just to get some proposals, but not changing the core issues about, for instance, the distribution of the economy. I mean, if we are not changing other main things, core things, social innovation could be just band-aids to the collapse system. I mean, to the future scenarios that we are going to face or to tackle with. So it is needed. Social innovation is needed. The concept right now it is, but it's not enough. It's not enough, and we need change. We need changes, real changes also in the politics or in society. So I hope social innovation serve as a seed and inspiration.
But conflict will be the real instrument of change.
To be critical.
You think?
Yes, to change a little bit things.
Thanks, Professor Fernandez Pacheco. There is a question for Porto. I'm not, I think she's out. There is no one from Porto? No.
No one, Yuri.
Okay.
But I can send the questions for Ana by email, and she can provide an answer. I don't know, Luciani, would you like to say something?
Just to mention that I have written a question to Ana. It's written in the chat.
Okay.
Yes, I will share. I don't know, I will share the question with Ana and Luciani because Ana is not here. And,
okay, because it's written to everyone, but I can read.
Okay. So the minorities, which minorities were involved?
Not only this, there are 3 questions in the same question.
Okay, could you, the question, sorry, to Ana from Porto was, could you tell us a little more about the 3 first moments you mentioned regarding diagnosis, the territorial analysis, and the socioeconomic data, and the behavioral mapping? Which minorities were involved in this process? How did you develop this territorial analysis? And could you detail a little more about who participated in this process? These are the open questions to Porto.
Ana had to leave because she had she has also the issue of taking care of the kids, but she committed to answer in another moment, another session, or even maybe I challenge her to organize a cities dialogue between the frontrunners and follower cities, so they can exchange further a little bit more about these challenges.
Are there other comments, questions? I don't know, considerations?
May I ask one to Chiara, maybe? Because it's a little bit related to what Luciana just mentioned. Chiara, you talked about, I remember two specific groups that you mentioned that were engaged in the experience in Barcelona. I think you mentioned about youngsters and women. Can you tell us a little bit more about how they were engaged, which were the challenges even to approach them, and if you also, what are the different and common issues, and also if you miss any target group in this process, if you would like to have other groups that you think that are missing in this experience, that you would like to enrich this experience.
See, the two target groups are really well defined. One is the first one is a target group of women, and the age is higher than the second target group. So are people that are taking care of the garden during the afternoon. Some of them are working, some other not anymore. And yeah, let's say that they have a completely different approach to the garden and to taking care of the garden, in the sense that the first target group of these women is taking care of the garden, cleaning it, planting the plants, but is not organizing any kind of specific activity. There are some activities that are happening there, like, for example, groups of Gruppo d'acquisto solidario. It would be groups of people that are buying together, like from farmers nearby. However, it's not managing these groups is not between their tasks or their objectives. Also the approach and the request, it's a bit different in the sense that this first group is like, there are some people that are very, especially one person that are very knowledgeable about plants. So they were choosing exactly which plants they wanted in order to attract the butterflies. And they were thinking to which services to offer to the people that were passing by the space. However, they are the person that are in charge. They would like to offer like some services, like giving the food to the people, like some mint, something that people can put extra food that they can put in their lunch when people are going to have lunch in the space. However, they don't want like to manage groups of people taking care of the wall or organizing some extra activities. So they are just taking care of the wall and making the best, and they are very happy if their space is more attractive. For them, it's a sort of success to have people going there and like recognizing the space that they set it up, because they did everything in that space. It was just an empty lot in Barcelona. So their objective is to make people feel well in that space, create a nice space for the neighborhood without any further objective of engaging with the people that are passing through the space. While the second group, the younger group, and with a more, let's say, scientific approach, they are a very valuable group in terms of giving inputs for nature biology, ecosystems, how to manage which kind of plants will go there, but also how to set up the system for the strengthening ecosystems in Barcelona. They are a group that is organizing several activities. So their main objective is to engage more people in their project, but active people in their project. They are not like giving a service. They are creating a community and an active community that takes care of the walls of the wall. So this they want to the main idea of using the technology there is to create a sort of Tamagotchi wall to engage some specific target groups that could be fascinated or interested, and to widen the offer that they are offering in their garden. So the people that will take care will be assigned to a specific pot, while in general for the rest of the garden people doesn't have a specific pot. They all take care together, but in this case they want to have with an app. The app will say when it's missing water. However, the people will have to go there to give the water, not with an automatic irrigation in any case. And they want to create one of the last ideas in the system of co-management that we were thinking, groups of people taking care of three of tiles together, so that they engage together in this three Tamagotchi group, and they were also thinking to some dynamics on how to set up these groups in order to create further dynamics. So in that case, there is a project of building a community around the space. So the core group is trying to build a community, and we are working with them towards this objective. So the objective of the two groups are quite, I would say, radically different, and it's very interesting to follow the process, because at the beginning, of course, we couldn't imagine. This was through co-analysis and analysis of desires that we found out this. Then if we are missing some target group, yeah, we are missing a lot of target groups. However, I mean, we are making a specific study with these specific target groups. The target group of the women is particularly interested in the fact that we organize activities with children there. So you can feel the sensitivity somehow. They were putting us in contact with some schools in order, and some of them also young girls, like 12 years old girls that are engaging in the project. So who has children, bring also the children. And they were asking us to organize activities to explain the system of biophotovoltaic in a more scientific way with the children in their science classes. So there is a sensitivity, but they are not actively creating the social interaction, let's say, while the other group is interested in this creation of social interaction. So yeah, I think that you can have several target groups. However, this is a project of only 1 year from the beginning to the end of the project. So with this time frame, I think that our two target groups are very good, are very interesting, and creating a lot of contents, both of them.
Congratulations, Chiara. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
I would like to ask something to Chiara too. Can I?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you can.
Because it was very interesting, very inspiring, Chiara, the experience. And I was thinking, while I was listening to you, I was thinking if you have considered to include more another step in the project, or if you will consider it to take into account projects like the precious plastics. I mean, to include the collective of the
the
plastic
precious
waste.
plastic is from our institute, is from the Fab Lab at the IAC.
Great, because I was thinking about the people collecting plastic and converting this plastic in this wall. I mean, it would be great. I mean, you can look the cycle. Also,
yeah, actually, we even though it's in our institute, the group of people that is taking care of the precious plastic, we didn't thought to this specific future perspective. Actually, yes, it could be. However, we are using ceramic because it's also offering this possibility of growing on top of ceramic, and in terms of ecosystems, we were trying with ceramic to add further value to the project through the material itself, to add further value in terms of ecosystems. But of course, if you use recycled plastic, you add further value in other terms, in terms of recycling instead of. So it could, of course, be a perspective. Yeah.
Great, very nice to hear it. Thank you. Grazie.
Thanks a lot.
There is a comment by Mr. Luciane Lucas dos Santos, and probably you can read your comment and speak with Nadezhda. Please.
Do you want me to comment something?
Yeah, your comment on the chat. Yeah, I think it's better if you comment on the live. Yeah.
Well, I was saying, Nadezhda, that I think it was very relevant you bring to this discussion something about the refugee group and the possibility of looking to these experiences as a way of challenging the prejudice that can exist between social classes, different social classes, not to mention other forms of asymmetries that we can see in the urban space. So I was mentioning an experience that I think very promising about homeless people. And it was an exchange fair made for and by homeless people. And the idea was to rescue the power of change, the power of choice, considering that in our social imagery, we see homeless people as someone that cannot have anything and that cannot contribute to anything. So this fair was partially organized by these homeless people. They received social currencies for the work they performed, and they could achieve products in this fair, in this exchange fair, from cooperatives that were participating in this initiative. And they were choosing, for example, what they could eat, what they could choose as clothes, as hygiene products, and so on. And it was very important as a social experiment in the sense that people were having a different relationship, citizens in the city were having a different experience talking to homeless people who are unseen most of the time. And it was important to emphasize another experience regarding this experience I mentioned, which is a kind of workshop that was happening under the flyover, where people, homeless people, were getting together to produce lamps, to produce floor lamps through the bagasse of sugarcane. And this process was collective. They were selling these products, but they were offering these products in this fair I was mentioning previously. And this product could be achieved by means of a social currency. So it's important I would like to say some words about this experience to emphasize the relevance you mentioned about the refugees being brought to the scene in your experience regarding the bread. So thank you.
Yes, I'm. You heard my little daughter. I'm sorry, the kids came back, but that's a great experience. We have a special program called Solidarity Bread, and it's we do it every last Thursday of the month, and we invite homeless people to come to the bread house. They make bread with the others. Very mixed group, very interesting group. And we started first cooperating with the social kitchen that distributes food to the homeless. And we realized that what's really missing is to really talk to these people, to hear their stories. And that's how we started the baking together, because it's very different if you bake with them. And the stories you hear, some of these people are so educated. They have such interesting backgrounds. Exactly as you're saying, there's so much to learn from them. And baking bread with them has been truly transformational for the other participants. But it took time. It took time for them to feel comfortable to come to the baking, you know, even those who haven't had shower for a while. I mean, there's very different kinds of inhibitions, right? But it took about half a year, but then we had regular group of people coming, homeless and non-homeless. So it grows. And it's, you know, we had a professor from Cambridge visiting Bulgaria, and he said he has never learned so much about poetry in his life than from one of the participants. So, you know, from the homeless participants. So it's incredible. Yes, it's wonderful. And if you can get them in more co-creative activities, whatever they are, from, you know, ours is bread making, but you did so many other things. Yes, it's really truly changing everybody. We also have such programs with blind people, for example, Bread in the Dark. The blind, they are the facilitators. They lead the people who see, but because it's full darkness, they don't see. But when they come out of the darkness, the sighted people, they say that that's a life-changing, you know, to make bread with a blind person, to touch the hands, to knit together, to share about life. So the more we create and invent such interesting experiences, I think that's a key for what all of us try to do with cities, to really get people together to do unusual, but at the same time, very human experiences, human activities together. Yes. Thank you. And write to me if you want. I've been to Brazil to so many places. I speak Brazilian Portuguese, so we can connect, and who knows, we can come up with more ideas. Bread house.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Luciani. Thanks, Nadezhda. I think Isabella Perotti want to add a comment. Isabella, please.
Hi, nice to meet you. First of all, my compliments to all of you who have been this great capacity to adapt this unexpected reality we are living on. So still doing amazing, great things. So what I want to share actually is about this rescue of a citizen identity who Luciani and Nadezhda brings. Here we had a similar experience, but with people with mental disturb or disabilities. So in association, we founded one association that wish a day become a cooperative. And there, in this the same sense, we came together, many people with this kind of limited abilities or capacities of social limitations. And what was more special of all is because there what identity us was not our diagnostic health or condition diagnostic, but what we have to share with the others. So a person who were identified as a bipolar disorder person, there was instructor, teacher of a handmade craft. So this experience of a different identity on a society has a great, amazing power of inclusion people. And this only for share a piece of this experience that goes in the same direction. And there also we had people, of course, homeless people, because they have a lot of troubles in mental health. So they become in this kind of service also. But I think now the biggest difficulty to finish my speak, I know we are in a time short, is we are trying to cross these challenges of internet things, because not everybody has free access to free Wi-Fi, free data. So we are finding ways like making events, like a congress, free congress of about the subjects. And then we make like online markets with the products from these people, from the groups, the solidarity economy groups. Because here, especially, we work together, solidarity economy groups, but giving this mixture, let's say, from solidarity economy groups from mental health services. Because this solidarity economy has this power of inclusion, especially for people who has more difficulties to be included in society. So yeah, we are being brave, all of us, and I think we can have more of these moments. Are great to hear all of you.
Thanks, Isabella. Thanks a lot from your comment, and thanks to all the participants and to all the speakers. I don't know if you have some other comments, the speakers to add or something like that. Unless I give the floor to Beatriz and Nathalie, just to present the next seminar on Monday. For me, it has been a pleasure, really a pleasure to introduce all of you and to learn a lot of things. And I hope to export them in Siena, or some of them in Siena, just because there are a lot of experiences and a lot of life. And so thanks, really, it's been really, really interesting. So Beatriz and Nathalie, I think you have to close the session.
Okay. Thank you, Yuri, again for your moderation. Thank you a lot. Thank you for all speakers. I think this roundtable was very complement and very connected with the other roundtable, the first roundtable. I would like just to share 2 or 3 ideas from the first roundtable, just to stay in our mind and to continue to thinking about for the next round the table. As a result from the first seminar, we discussed some things about urban neighborhoods are set of complex socioeconomic and emotional relations instead of a mere space of living. Yeah, I think during this debate is very clear this statement, how this statement is operationalized in real context through the different solidarity economy practice that the colleagues presented before. So the debate present the importance to take this statement in consideration, the complex socioeconomic and emotional relations as part of the urban space, as part of the community. The other one from the first seminar, the idea around the community-based initiatives depend much more the solidarity ties of common interest, reciprocity, and trust. I think that is a strong resulting conclusion that from the first, and is very similar similar with our discussion today. The other one is about public policies, and you talk. You have some presentation. For example, in a presentation from the municipality, based on the role of municipality in terms of the role of municipality. So the public policies for solidarity economy and the institutional recognition, it's very positive role, and it's a positive role, more positive than the market economy. So it's very strong, is important to ensure in certain way the support from a municipality, and to move the solidarity economy, to introduce the solidarity economy in the public policies for each in each city. So the other one, I think, other topic was very central during the debate was the common and sustainable cooperation between users and public actors. Again, the public actors is part of the debate, was part of the debate. So some ideas related to how the commons can appropriate by the users, how to recognize the urban public space as part of commons debates, and it was and the debate about the commons and this type of sustainable cooperation was very, very interesting during the first round debate. And just to highlight the other two central topics from the role of international network, can also support the local initiative, but also can support the international dissemination of solidarity economy, in specific the role of REPAS, and REPAS participated in the first seminar, and also they discuss around the idea of return of community development, and how the solidarity economy, the combination, how the solidarity economy is an important combination between community development and the new life of the commons, the idea of the back to the future. And to finalize, some reflections that Luciane brings in this first seminar about the colonialism concept, or theoretical approach around the colonialism, and the different inequalities based on gender, ethnic origin, bodies, racial diversity. So to understand the complex in the territory, it's necessary to take into account the historical colonialism relation, and how this historical trajectory produce different effects in nowadays, and produce different inequalities in different forms that the persons use the urban space. So just to share some general overview about the first seminar, and to reinforce the connection between the critical perspective from the first, and the practice that the speakers presented today. Of course, was very, very interesting to link between the first seminar and the second seminar, and probably in the third we'll have other ideas to complement our pathway. And so thank you. So I would like to invite for everyone for the next seminar. I would like to share the program. 1 minute. I don't know if, yes, it's here. Can you see my screen, the program? So for the next seminar will be on Monday 7, start at the same time. The idea is to discuss the sustainability of network-based solution and solidarity economy, with the focus more on market quotation, but also how to measure the impact of NBS through some methodologies. For example, this ROI is a methodology about to measure the impact in terms of value, economic value. And also we intend to discuss some social entrepreneurship issues to increase the participation and the social innovation in the relation with the urban regeneration. And also Andres commented about the circular economy, and our colleague from UNG, from Nova Gorica, we will present the experience for Project Click about circular economy. I think it's interesting to understand what is the connection between solidarity economy and circular economy. Of course, the synergy, but sometimes some particulars are similar or not. So it's an opportunity to debate, to discuss the circular economy in this third seminar. So I'd like to invite everyone. I don't know if Nathalie would like to add something.
We wish you a great weekend and to enjoy your friends and families.
Thank you, Nathalie.
Thank you.
Thank you for everyone.
Thank you.
To stay with us. Bye-bye. See you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a nice weekend and thanks for all.
Ciao.
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 Thank you.
Bye.